Good evening and welcome to Canberra. Friday night footy in the NEAFL, the North East Australian Football League, and the first night NEAFL match played here at the Giants' relatively new home ground, the Demons' relatively new home ground of Phillip Oval. Chris Coleman is my name. Alongside me once again, Eddie Williams. Eddie, good evening to you.
Chris, a good evening to you. Great to have Friday night footy back here in Canberra, and a big weekend in Aussie rules here in the ACT with the Demons and the Giants tonight, of course, at Manuka tomorrow. The Giants hosting St Kilda, but a big match tonight. Of course, last weekend, Canberra with that important win over Sydney Uni. A tight match there that the Demons kicked the last couple of goals. Reece Pollock with the match winner. The Giants were beaten by Sydney, and so we see Canberra in 5th place on the NEAFL ladder. 2 wins and 2 losses. The Giants come in tonight 1 and 3, just the 1 win, and they're down in 7th place on the ladder. Chris, one of the players to keep an eye on tonight from a Canberra perspective, Connor Owen Orban. He was the rising star last week. He has the hardest name to say in the NEAFL if you're in a hurry, but he was the rising star nominee last week. 5 MVP votes in that win over Sydney Uni. He's starting on the bench. It's a bit harsh.
Not only is he starting on the bench, he's officially been named as the 23rd man. So
he should be the 2nd man or the 3rd man.
Well, best on ground last week, and rising star nomination, and last man named officially on the squad. We know it doesn't work that way. They've got to designate someone the 23rd man, and if you're unfamiliar with how it works in the NEAFL, the AFL listed sides have 22 players. The non-AFL listed sides get the advantage of an extra man in their rotation. So 22 versus 23 across the course of the night. We're not far off getting started. The Giants, I believe, won the toss. They are certainly going to be kicking to the left of screen. That is the northern end of Phillip Oval. The Canberra Demons obviously going to the right of screen as we see their 5 interchange players making their way off the ground here. It is a cool night here in Canberra. We've had our first substantial rain in weeks overnight today, best part of an inch across most of Canberra, so it didn't warm up a great deal today. The sun did come out to dry things off a little bit in the afternoon, but the ground will be a little bit soft underfoot. Your umpires this evening, Nick McGuinness, Sam Nipris and David Harris. On the boundary, Ben Feely, Matt Thompson and Liam Cashin. The goal umpires are Kiara Brody and Kim Schultz, and we're about to get underway for Friday night NEAFL footy.
Josh Maynard up in ruck for Canberra against Dawson Simpson. He's been good the past couple of weeks, Maynard, but a big challenge for him tonight up against Simpson and also Flynn. The umpire bounces the ball. Simpson probably missed that one. Maynard gets the clearance. Quick kick forward. It's towards Tom Fall. Bounces away from him. Powell's there at half forward. In comes Bruce, the Canberra captain. He's wrapped up in a strong tackle by Jake Stein. And the umpire will come in and ball it up right on half forward for Canberra. Interesting battle this between Maynard and Simpson. Probably got both hands to it. Smout with the quick kick inside 50, and Tom Fall takes the mark on the chest, and he'll have the first shot on goal.
Well, Tom Fall, never one to fail to back himself, and he'll love this. A good start to the game for him coming up, you'd think. Not too far out, and the Canberra Demons playing some fleet footy, and you've just got to think after last week showing that they can win a close one away from home. They've got to be taking some of that confidence into this one against the Giants despite the short turnaround.
Tom Fall picked up 1 MVP vote last week in that win over Sydney Uni for the Canberra Demons. Distance certainly won't be a problem here. Left foot drop punt is just away to the left. So the Demons open the scoring. They're 1 behind. The Giants yet to score.
Well, we've been going for only about 1 minute. In fact, 1 minute ticks up right now. So what can the Giants do in reply here? Or will Canberra be able to cut it off? Just see how this ground plays this evening. As I said, the first time we've seen night footy here at NEAFL level. As the ball goes into the middle of the ground, off hands. And I think the umpire has actually paid a free in there as opposed to the mark. So the ball comes around the outside now. Put into attack for the Demons by Baker, but intercepted and cut off in there by, I think it was that Reed for the Giants. A little bit hard to pick up in some parts of the ground where the lighting is a little bit dim. Now that's a good grab there for Kieran Briggs. Gets himself in the front position. Giants just looking to play some possession footy, it looks like, at the moment. They've got options in... Oh, this is going to sound odd to say. There's an option in short in Dawson Simpson, the tallest man in football. Instead, they go long. It comes off the hands of the pack. It's taken there by Sproul. Zach Sproul then puts it over on the outside, finds a teammate. Good little bit of work there from Brown. Callum Brown gets it on to Bobby Hill. And Bobby Hill with the first goal of the night here at Phillip Oval. The Giants go to 6. And a 5-point lead over the Canberra Demons.
Good play there by the Irishman with the goal assist. Callum Brown from County Derry helping set up that goal to Ian Bobby Hill. Bobby to his mates, but Ian on his birth certificate. And as we see so often, that missed shot from Tom Fall, the Giants are able to run the ball up the other end and nail that first goal of the match.
Rebound footy. Didn't go express pace from end to end. It wasn't real coast-to-coast stuff. There was the stoppage in the middle for the mark. But the Giants certainly showing that they're not going to be taken lightly here on this Friday night in Canberra. Ball back in at the middle of the ground as we approach the 3-minute mark in this one. Who can get the best of it? Well, tap down goes the Giants' way. Kicked into, the Demons' way, tapped down into space, waiting for someone to come up with a clear ascendancy, but at the moment it's just the pack over the top of it. Suddenly it comes out on the end of it. It looked like Vardaniga. Can he control it? He can't. Turns it away over the top of the head. Dodgy looking hand pass to Maguire, but I think it's been called as a throw. It is indeed free to the Giants.
So a free there against Mitch Hardy for throwing the ball. And the Giants again will look to rebound from defence. Coming into this match, the Demons averaged 13 more inside 50s per game than the Giants. They just haven't always been able to convert their opportunities. We saw it a fortnight ago where the Demons dominated field position against Southport, but in the end lost the match. Giants have the footy on the outer side of the ground. They might have come unstuck there, but they do manage to get the ball back. The kick comes towards half forward. Demons are there with numbers, and Tom Highmore comes in and takes a good mark. He goes across the ground to Vardaniga, juggles the mark inside defensive 50. Matt Vardaniga always has plenty of family coming and watching him play here with the Canberra Demons. He goes out into the pocket to Bud. Bud goes down the line looking for Highmore, bounces away from him. Owen Orban can't keep it in. We'll get a boundary throw in right on centre wing in front of that Canberra Demons sign. Still plenty of room if anyone else wants to put up another sign at Phillip Oval. It's the Giants by 5 points early in the first quarter. As Chris said, a wet day in Canberra, but it seems like the ground has dried up fairly well. Simpson and Maynard in ruck again. The ball comes to ground. It's not getting out of there. We'll have another stoppage on centre wing.
Indeed we will. The break up in play at the moment, just waiting for it all to get settled. Ball tossed up by the umpire. No real advantage. Tapped over towards the far side of the ground, and once again the pack forms. So stop-start footy now, after we saw some free-flowing stuff earlier in the piece. This time the tap goes, well, into the chest of the Giants, and off into the attack once again. Off hands outside the forward 50 for them. No one really looking to get a handle on the pill at the moment. Hand pass comes, but it's been cut off for the Giants there by Hill again. He's got one goal. That one won't be a goal. It might just squeeze in for a point. It does. So at the moment, it's Ian Hill 7, the Canberra Demons 1. Now the Demons decide to play on, going again around the outer side of the ground here at Phillip, but the restart kick comes off hands and goes over the boundary line. It'll be a throw in 50 metres out. Really interesting trying to get used to how this ground looks at night, Eddie. It's different.
The scoreboard looks different. That's the biggest thing I've noticed.
The scoreboard looks very much brighter. I could turn that down and turn the lighting up a little bit. It'd be helpful. Ball in contest at the moment. Vardaniga over the top for the Demons, but he's unable to do much with it. Getting a hand on it is Connor Owen Orban. Now, snapshot on goal goes across the face, and the Giants, they're trying to take every opportunity they can at the moment. The Demons living just a little bit dangerously. They need to get a clearance here, get the ball out. Instead, it's a throw-in. It's going to happen adjacent to the goalpost here. Giants will fancy their chances here. Let's see who goes into the ruck for them.
Looks like Flynn.
Does indeed. Grabs it out of the air. Picked off by Owen Orban. Turns around. Can't do much with it. Loses the ball. High tackle potentially in there. Now the Demons start to clear. Looking for it was Hardy. Couldn't do it. Comes off his hands. Now ball in contest. In over the top of it for the Giants was Iden, I think it was. Can't do anything. Backs out of it. 2-on-1. Wasn't Iden. Was actually... it was Iden. There we go. But then 2-on-1. And now we get a ball up on the grandstand side. Given the conditions, there's actually a fairly decent crowd. The early start time here too. Still plenty of people rolling in. Now the... ball going into the forward line for the Giants, courtesy of O'Halloran. Comes away then to Briggs. Briggs' kick is smothered. We saw plenty of smothers from the Demons a couple of weeks ago. Still plenty of contest. In over the top was Bonner. Now the Demons clearing away, and it was Highmore with the clearing kick to outside 50.
But the Giants will get the footy back. They've got the ball just inside 50. Umpire has picked out a free kick for a high tackle. It will go the Giants' way. And so... GWS just peppering at the moment, certainly doing all the attacking in the past few minutes after the Demons missed that early shot on goal. I don't think we'll see a shot here. Bit of candy sold to the man on the mark. A short kick doesn't really go anywhere. Mitch Hardy's there for Canberra. He manages to get the hand pass out, but things might have come unstuck for the Demons. Jake Stein with the long ball from 50. Puts it out to the right. Minor score. They are peppering the Giants, and they hold a 7-point lead over the Canberra Demons here at Phillip Oval. A lot of Canberra footy fans will be a bit conflicted tonight. Of course, the Giants are Canberra's side in the AFL, play 3 home games here and a pre-season game and an AFLW game, but obviously the Canberra Demons are Canberra's side in the NEAFL, and the Demons work the ball to the wing. Mitch Maguire, haven't seen too much of him yet. He goes down the line. The kick is not quite marked there by Harry Carr, but he keeps the ball in play. His hand pass will be turned over. It comes out now there to Keefe, the former Magpie. Now a high ball. Tom Falls sitting underneath it. It wouldn't have been 15 metres. Spills down to Moline. He's dispossessed. Soccred forward for the Giants. Hard to get a clean possession here at the moment. It spills out to Jai Caldwell. He goes off the left foot inside 50. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of the Canberra Demons. Bud is there with Helse. Bud tried to hand pass it to Helse. He couldn't quite take it. Martin came in to lend support. Gave it to Helse. Back to Bud. Now to Highmore, who has a bit of a fumble. The ball goes over the boundary line. And again, a stoppage inside 50 for the Giants.
The Giants just seem to be a little bit more confident with the ball in hand at the moment, and that may turn out to be the difference here in this one. What are we, about 7 minutes, 8 minutes in now to this first quarter?
Maybe just a bit slippery after that rain.
Yeah, I think just a little bit greasy, and the dew will start to form as well. So it's not going to get any easier out there tonight. It's whoever can hold their foot in the better. Ball still in contest at the moment, right at the 50-metre arc. Demons have it in the bottom of the pack, but there's 3 or 2, potentially a third Giant coming in, but the umpire says he'll ball it up. Nick McGuinness comes in. So from the boundary ball up to the ball up at the stoppage of play, best one by Simpson. But again, at the moment, it's almost like school kids footy here, just plenty of kids chasing the ball around the place. Looking for a little bit of magic from somebody. Carr was the man who was trying to get there for the Demons, but he couldn't get there. And now it's the Giants coming away with it. In underneath that, was, I think it was Caldwell in there, and he couldn't do much with it. Into the bottom of the pack. Umpire has found a push in the back. In fact, it's a push in the back, and it's going the Demons' way. So Canberra will have a chance eventually to get in there and send the ball forward. And instead they work it around the outside. Goes to Sam Martin back in the side this week is Martin. Ball goes long. Good punch in there over the boundary line. And Connor Iden, who we saw at the other end of the ground not so long ago, getting the punch there, and there'll be a boundary throw in. Forward, I was going to say forward pockets, more of the half-forward flank for the Canberra Demons, who find themselves 7 points down in a low-scoring first quarter. Ball goes down towards Powell, but again, how many players in that pack, Eddie? I count 12 at the moment. It's been like this for most of the night so far.
Well, we've said previously, Chris, the 6-6-6 starting positions, but at the moment we've got 0-0. 0-0-36, every player in the forward half of the ground, as the Demons trying to work that ball deeper into attack. We'll have another ball up just outside 50 for Canberra. One factor tonight could be the fact that I guess both sides coming off a 6-day break, having played last Saturday, but the Demons obviously are semi-professional athletes rather than the full-time pros like many of the Giants are. The Demons get it back inside 50 again, but it's socced out there for the Giants. They'll run the ball now through the middle of Phillip Oval. Pretty open forward line if they can get it working. Who's going to run onto it here? It's picked up there by Brown, the Irishman. He gives the hand pass there over the top to Briggs. It comes back to Brown, and the Irishman from County Derry snaps the goal. The Giants have the first 2. They're up by 13 points.
Good skills there from both Brown and his teammate in Briggs. Briggs was on in the middle of the ground, but good vision saw the ball go past him. And suddenly they were out there able to really run it all by themselves, and they did so. Giants have 2 goals, not the start that Canberra would be after. They won't be panicking just yet, but they would like to get a major of their own.
And just to what I was saying earlier, 16 AFL-listed players in this Giants outfit tonight. There are a lot of class players on the field, players with a decent amount of AFL experience, like Dawson Simpson, like Aiden Bonner, and that could be a factor, particularly as the game goes on. And the Demons do tend to tire. They need to get some scores on the board early if they're going to have a chance in this match. Plenty
of high draft picks as well. We'll mention a couple of those as the evening goes on. As we see the ball back in the centre of Phillip Oval, 12 minutes on the clock. And the Giants leading by 13 points. Bonner was waiting for the ball, didn't come out to his advantage, and indeed whistle blows, so it'll be for the Canberra Demons Smout Decides to just bomb it long in the hope of finding somebody. Off the hands once again, and it could be a turnover to the Giants. Waiting for it to come through was Caldwell. Then in the top might have been O'Halloran as well. A bit hard to pick up over in that corner. It's a little bit gloomy, but the Giants, they're on the burst now. Put the ball in towards, just short of centre half forward, and that's Sproul. He's one of those players with plenty of AFL experience for this Giants side. They go into the forward line again. And a very, very wide... I don't know whether that was a snapshot or whether it was an attempted pass, but either way, it's gone a long way out of bounds on the full, bounces back down the hill, and the Demons are going to come back up with it.
There was a bloke who was going to ride his bicycle around to get that footy, but a player managed to reach over the fence.
Ball boys on bicycles. Now there's an idea, marketing concept for the NEAFL perhaps. Ball back in contest over on the far side of the ground, and over the boundary line for yet another throw-in. It's going to be one of those nights, Eddie. We're going to see the ball from a great distance here at Phillip Oval a lot tonight.
Outer side of the ground, there's about 5 people sitting there on the hill and another gentleman to our left over there. Most of the fans, and there is a pretty healthy crowd here tonight, most of them sitting on this broadcast side of the ground. Not quite as many as we had here on Good Friday football a couple of weeks back, but a decent crowd by Canberra Demons standards nonetheless. Maynard knocked it down to the back. Couldn't find a teammate immediately, but the Demons get it working forward. Giants with numbers on the wing, and they'll be able to get a 50-metre penalty. So now that really will bring the Giants into attack. Might have been for a Demons player in the protected zone there. And now the Giants marched 50 metres forward, and this will be touch and go as to whether we see a shot on goal here, Chris.
Just outside the 50 when he takes the kick, I'd imagine.
Looks like he's going to go short. Good kick, mark just taken on the second bite.
Langdon.
Looks like that's Zach Langdon who's taken the mark. He'll go back to try and kick the Giants third.
Did well, was coming through at speed. It came off, I think, the chest first up, but he got the arms up to prevent it from going to ground. So he will get the shot.
Zach Langdon, he was a mature age recruit from the Waffle for the Giants. Played quite a few games last season in the AFL, making his return in the NEAFL this season after a foot injury and looking for his first goal of the evening to try and extend the Giants' lead up to 19 points. Zach Langdon, he'll kick from just inside 50. He goes with the right foot drop punt. Goal umpire moves a little bit and it hits the post. So another behind for the Giants. They tick up now to a 14-point lead, and the Demons with a quick kick in.
Indeed they have, and it's gone to House. Now House sets, he's got a teammate in short, goes to that man in Powell. Powell under pressure, gets a hand pass away. That's good, great handball here from the Demons. Now it's with Pollock. Pollock puts the ball into a vacant forward line, and it's only orange players there, and they turn it around once again. In defence, this GWS Giants side. O'Halloran has it in the middle of the park. He's got Caldwell on the wing. Instead, goes back just a little bit. Too hot for Bobby Hill, but he picks it up and goes for a run. He's got some speed, sells some candy, turns around, pops a little hand pass back to a teammate, and now they're back in the attack again. But good work, good positioning of the body by Highmore for the Demons. And he said, well, let's see this one right over the far side of the ground now. Quick work on to Smout. Smout then, well, he's waiting. He's looking up forward. And he had support there from Roberts. Roberts then gets it onto a teammate who then sends it around the far side into the pocket. But, gee, the Giants are looking very good in defence at the moment. They had Iden and another man in there. They come back across, switching it across to the near side of the ground now. And that might have been Hill again. Brown sends the ball further forward. Underneath it there was Sproul. Play on, says the umpire. You might have heard the call sneak through there. Then on to Shipley. Shipley's kick pretty ordinary, and the Demons rebound now. They get it to Osborne. Osborne over the centre of the ground. Oh, look at this man in space. That'll be that man Smout. He's had a lot of it in the last few minutes. Can't pick it up, and in the end just goes for the soccer. He's been watching a bit of Lionel Messi during the course of the week in the Champions League. Sends it forward. I hear a whistle, though, so we're going to come back. And this will be a Canberra free kick here. Not sure what it was for. I was watching the ball downfield. Ed?
Might have been a push. You say Alex Smout's had a lot of ball in the past few minutes. He's had a lot of the ball in the past few weeks, averaging more than 31 disposals per game so far this season, and picked up 9 MVP votes last week, and looks like he's making a pretty good start again today, Alex Smout.
Hardy has the ball. He'll back himself here. He's going back to take the shot. The mark is being taken. Who's there? James Pope, the man on the mark. Now, he's just crept back surreptitiously about 5 metres, so he's going to run in as Hardy comes in. to try and upset Hardy's rhythm. Hardy kicks from just inside 50, so that's a non-factor. The goal umpire does not have to move. Bang, straight through the middle. The Demons pull one back. They move to 7. The Giants on 15. 8-point ball game Friday night in the nation's capital.
That's better direction there from the Demons. They had Smout loose just outside the 50. We've seen in the past few minutes the Demons doing exactly what they did a couple of weeks, going inside 50 but kicking the ball straight to the opposition. That time Smout was loose. They were a little bit lucky to get that free kick there, but Mitch Hardy he's a class player and he nailed that goal, and a desperately needed one for the Canberra Demons. They're now back within 8 points.
I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game here tonight, Eddie.
No, and it wasn't last week when the Demons beat Sydney Uni, only about 10 goals each, and with conditions tonight, we're probably expecting another bit of an arm wrestle.
Indeed. We should also say we are sure that that's Mitch Hardy tonight.
Yes.
Back in round 1, there was it was easy to confuse the two, Hardy and Evans. Hardy in 16, Evans in 15. Both had long blonde hair, both of similar build, both of similar height. Kel Evans has done us all a big favour. He's had a haircut now, so it's a lot easier for us to pick who's who. That'll be a secondary bounce coming up there because it was closer to Connor Owen Auburn than to either of the ruckmen when it came down outside the circle. So we'll get it back for another ball up in the middle. Very hard to read the clock on the scoreboard. I think it says 18 and a half minutes. Tapped out eventually, probably one for the Giants by Flynn, and they're sent into attack again by Bonner, but, well, should have been a mark, and the free kick actually paid for being chopped off at the wrists there to Angus Baker.
So Baker goes out into the pocket and he finds Bud just underneath that electronic scoreboard. He goes short, he's turned it over. So their ball use tonight hasn't been great, and we saw that hurt the Demons badly in that disappointing 10-goal loss to Redland a couple of weeks back. Back inside 50, loose checking there from the Demons' defence.
Got a man up against this Giants side.
And it'll be another shot on goal here to the Giants as they look for their third to get the quick reply to that score we saw just a few moments ago from Mitch Hardy.
Interestingly, the glove's coming off.
The ball is on the ground.
I mean that in a literal sense, by the way, the glove's coming off.
It is a bit chilly out there.
Sproul deciding to take the gloves off and bomb it long from just outside 50.
So Zach Sproul, a slow approach. Stutters in. He'll kick from about 45. The right foot kick. He's put it through. And the Giants fans in the crowd have something to cheer about. That's their third. And the Giants back out to a 14-point lead. You
mentioned, Eddie, that some split loyalties in the crowd tonight. I see plenty of Giants supporter gear in and around the crowd this evening, and the Giants are, of course, playing an AFL game here tomorrow, but
I think there was a bigger cheer for Hardy's goal, so I think certainly the locals are backing the Canberra Demons, but good to see some Giants fans here as well. We know that when the Demons host the Giants or the Swans, that does bring more fans to the games here in Canberra, here at Phillip Oval, and that's a good thing for the Canberra Demons.
Indeed it is, but right now it'll be the Giants fans who are the happier. 3-3-21 to the Canberra Demons 1-1-7 as we're into time on in the first quarter, and Alex Paik has moved into the ruck for the Canberra Demons. He's up against Flynn. Umpire makes us wait. And it's Flynn who gets the best tap of it. Owen Auburn intercepting for Canberra. Now a ball comes back and it's picked up off the ground by Maguire. Been relatively quiet so far tonight, but he tends to get busier as the game goes on, or that's been the pattern so far for 2019. Plenty of contest for the ball. Charging in there was Martin for the Demons and Bonner for the Giants, but in the end it comes out, spurts out more like a bit of toothpaste out of a tube that's been stepped on. And we see, finally, in the middle of the park, Iden gets a clean possession, puts it in front of Caldwell. Caldwell ignores it. Teammate in there might have been Langdon, not sure. Still in dispute, and now it's the Demons coming away with it. Chasing through was Richardson, I think, into another pack. And now, finally, we get the ball, well, I was going to say into space, but the only space it's gone to is the space on the other side of the boundary line, once again on the far side of the ground here. Most of the game being played in the Giants' forward half here. Canberra's excursions into their attacking territory have been few and far between. I'll pull up some numbers on that from the Champion Data Stats in a minute, Ed.
Boundary throw-in, forward of the wing for the Giants. 22 minutes gone in this first quarter. Ball on the ground again. Giants trying to get it working forward. Comes out to the side. They do get it forward in the end, but Cade Klemke's camping back. Doesn't come to him. The Demons with numbers there in defence. And now it opens up a little bit. They look to go into the corridor. Hardy's there. Fall as well. Falls. Hardy got a hand in. Found a teammate. So now inside 50. It's an open forward line if Bruce can get his way to the front. He had to spoil from behind in the end. Gets it out towards the boundary line. And eventually it does go over the boundary line. So a stoppage inside 50 here for the Demons and an opportunity for them to try and score their second goal of the match as Alex Smout comes from the ground and Angus Baker, or in fact Jared Osborne, runs back onto the field of play. Every player in Canberra's forward half as we get ready for this stoppage. It's Paik up against Dawson Simpson. A challenge there for young Alex Paik. It's knocked down to the front. Ball's just bobbling around at ground level. Tom Fall gets in there. He comes to ground. And the Giants are able to take it away again. So the Demons just not making the most of their inside 50s early in this match. As the Giants work it to the wing, the ball goes over the boundary line and we'll get yet another stoppage on that outer side of the ground.
And the stats back you up on that inside 50s call, Ed. I thought it was well and truly in the Giants' favour, but that was actually the 9th inside 50 for the Canberra Demons. And the Giants have also had 9 inside 50s for 6 scoring shots to 2. So the Giants certainly doing the better of the ball deep in attacking territory. They get away with it now. Iden with the ball for the Giants, tapping it forward. It's being socked along the ground at the moment. Clearing kick away from Klemke. Klemke puts it into the path of a couple of teammates and a couple of opposition players, but again, it's the pack forming over the top. Good slinging tackle coming in there, and I think the ball might actually come out in the Giants' favour. No, because there's more players coming in, and it'll be yet another ball up just near the corner of the centre square here at Phillip Oval. Quick ball up taken by the umpire. Flies around the honeypot at the moment. Clearing kick from a stray boot in there, out towards the centre wing. Now there's fewer players out here, a bit of space. Klemke gets it for Canberra, turns around, wheels to his right, decides to put the ball back into the middle of the park. Underneath it here will be Bud, not a man we're used to seeing going up forward, but he is on the run up forward now, puts the ball into the path of Carr. Harry Carr eventually gets it after a Giants player loses it. Carr still involved in the chase. Also involved in it there was Osborne for the Canberra Demons. But again, it's the Giants putting the ball into attack from a very quick kick. And is this Flynn who was resting down on the forward line? It is. He turns around, cops a bump off the ball. That's a good bit of footy there. And the Demons turn it around. Bud has it now, but his kick is once again cut off on the centre wing position. Taken there by Sproul. And Sproul just sets himself now, waits for a few more of his teammates to run down into the forward line. Plenty of them do just that. Puts the ball into about 30 metres out. Punch comes back and it goes out of bounds right on the junction of the boundary and the 50-metre arc.
Good fist there by Alex Paik. Couple of disappointing kicks from Riley Budd in that passage of play when the Demons had chances to go into attack. Good pressure there by Ben Helse to make sure the big ruckman Matt Flynn couldn't get away and kick a goal. Boundary throw-in. Simpson there in front of Paik. Knocks it down, but it does come out to Pollock of the Demons. Canberra players appealing for a free kick. Nothing doing. It'll be thrown up just outside 50 for Canberra. Paik and Simpson in ruck. Quick ball up there from the umpire. Simpson knocked it down decisively to Caldwell. Caldwell kicks to the hot spot. Flynn just couldn't quite get in the right position. Good body work from Helse, and it comes out the back to Moline, who gives it off to, looks like that might be Baker on the outer side of the ground. Baker goes for a bit of a run, and that's a nice pass. It'll come inboard. Powell's in the corridor. They elect to go longer than that, and again, the kick forward is no good for Canberra. So it's that last kick as they look to go inside 50 that is just not working for the Demons at the moment, and easy pickings for the Giants. They've got a Pope free in the middle of the ground. Ignore that, elect to go a little shorter. Carr did well to get a hand in. Demons players come in to force a contest, but the Giants have the numbers again on that outer side. They work it slightly inboard. It's a 14-point lead to the Giants. We're deep in the opening quarter here at Phillip Oval. Just a mid-distance kick. Hasn't been the best evening for Skills, and the Giants not necessarily finding targets that easily either. Carr with a hand pass that was probably intended for Hardy. Didn't get to him. A lot of players around the ball. Umpire says play on, then he decides he's seen enough and he'll come in and ball it up.
We have seen a lot of ill-directed kicks tonight. I'm not sure whether it's ill-directed in terms of direction or whether they're the ball's skidding off the boot a little bit perhaps. Certainly a bit slippery and greasy down there. Ball up happens. Fairly close to the centre of the ground. On the burst with it is Caldwell. Sends the ball just short by hand. Finds a teammate who then sends it forward. So coming out Oh, the ball's been absolutely spilt there. It might have been Langdon who spilled it, and the Demons are on the rebound here. They've got a chance here. Just need to get some sort of a handle on it, or indeed just keep contesting for it. Pollock is doing that. Sends the hand pass back inside. Now he's got, I think it might have been Baker who was there. Comes backwards to go forwards via Roberts and then to Klemke, and Klemke sends the ball in the right direction for the Demons. It's taken there by Powell. Powell, now he goes a long way back, but a long way across the ground. There's suddenly Demons players in space there. That was Moline with the short hand pass. And then the foot pass comes, puts the Demons further into attack. They're still too far out to score, but who's waiting underneath it? Oh, there's plenty there. The big arm came up from the man in the long sleeves, Stein, and it comes off his hands and out over the boundary line. Throw-in to take place about 25 around from the goal. What's the clock say? 28 minutes. Yeah. So not long left, you would imagine, with only the 4 goals having been scored here, and not a lot of stoppages at the moment. Umpire sends it back into play. Giants win the tap down, and it's that man Stein who put it out of play, who puts it back into the pack. Now turning around, I reckon that might have been Hardy. He's had it, and he's had the snap, but it's off target. It just creeps in for a minor score. The Demons go on to 1-2-8. The Giants 3-3-21. Giants waiting here, taking their time to restart play as we approach the 29-minute mark in the first term.
So can the Giants get another goal before three-quarter time? It's knocked forward the Demons' way, and they do have the numbers at this contest. Back inside 50 for Canberra. Another high ball to a one-on-one, and these high kicks to contests are just not working for the Demons in this first quarter, and the Giants' defence doing well. Under a fair bit of pressure, with the Demons able to, as we say, get quite a few inside 50 entries, but just not able to go forward with any real meaning. The ball is there with Iden. His kick's not a great one. It ends up with Tom Fall. He's got options inside 50. It went over the head of Smout. He'll get it back here, Alex Smout. He'll roll onto the left foot. He'll send it towards goal. And that'll float through. That's a goal to Alex Smout. So a turnover hurting the Giants there. Fall's kick inside 50 wasn't great, but it was an open forward line, and Alex Smout snaps the goal, and there's one that the Demons needed just before quarter time.
That's a little bit unfortunate there for Connor Iden. I had him down in my book as one of the best for the Giants in this first quarter, but gee, how quickly can you go from the feather duster to from the rooster to the feather duster? And Tom Fall, and then on to, I think, they nearly made a meal of it there with Smout unable to get hold of it, but Hardy and Smout combined, well, we've seen that plenty of times for this Canberra Demons side. We have a 7-point game as the 30-minute mark about to tick over.
And the Giants might need to start putting a bit of attention into Alex Smout. He's been busy. He's found himself loose on that half-forward line a couple of times so far in this match. He's had 8 disposals. He's the leading disposal winner on the ground. They've all been kicks, 4 clearances and 2 inside 50s for Alex Smout. So continuing his good form after being the Demons' best last week and averaging more than 31 touches a game so far this season. He's on track for at least 32 disposals tonight if he keeps going at 8 touches a quarter. We're back in the centre with Maynard and Simpson. Maynard won that one down. Couldn't get it decisively to a teammate. Osborne laid a tackle. There's the quarter-time siren, and the Demons will be fairly happy that they only trail by 7 points. It's the Demons 2-2-14 trailing the Giants 3-3-21. For the Giants, goals to Zach Sproul, Ian Bobby Hill and Callum Brown. And for the Demons, Mitch Hardy and Alex Smout getting that late goal.
You mentioned Smout with the leading disposals and 8 kicks, 8 disposals, all of them kicks. Bud also has 8 disposals, 7 kicks and 1 hand pass. While for the Giants, it's Keefe with 6 disposals, 5 kicks and 1 hand pass, and Sproul has 4 kicks and 1 hand pass for his 5. Overall, the Demons have 88 disposals to the Giants 71, but as you mentioned, Eddie, it's currently the Giants going by 7 points. Plenty left in this one. Going to be an intriguing Friday night, quarter time on NEAFL TV.
quarter time at Phillip Oval, and it's the Giants holding a 7-point lead over the Canberra Demons, 3-3-21, playing 2-2-14 as the players leave their huddles. A bit of an arm wrestle in that first quarter. Eddie Williams and Chris Coleman here on NEAFL TV. And Chris, it looked like the Giants were a class above for most of that quarter with the way they were setting up in defence and also in the forward line, but that late goal to Alex Smout certainly gives the Demons something to build on in the second term.
Well, late goals tend to lead to momentum early in the next quarter, so see if that happens for the Demons. I'd like to see the Demons playing just a little bit more in front, especially when they're getting the ball into attack. We saw on a number of occasions there the ball would go inside 50 for the Canberra Demons, but there'd be a Giants player in front and he'd get the tap on the ball or the punch on the ball, and it would rebound very, very quickly. The ball back in the middle of the park. And the 6-6-6 in play. Something else for the umpires to check that everyone's ready. Everyone is ready. The siren sounds. Quarter two gets underway with the visiting side leading by 7 points here on NEAFL TV. Bounce down. And Flynn gets the better of it. Not Fringe, Simpson rather gets the better of it. But again, hot tackle straight away. Umpire will come in for a secondary bounce, as it's slightly to the advantage of the Demons, going to the left of your screen on this second term. Scooting away with it through the middle, though, was Perryman. Haven't called a lot of him in the first quarter. Now they're coming across the middle of the ground here. Could go short, could go long. Goes long, waiting up forward. And flying there was Callum Brown. Took a good, had a good goal in the first quarter. Almost took the mark of the night, but instead the ball still in contest there. Plenty of players in over the top of it. Now I've seen the umpire's gone in with the whistle, and I think he's calling for a ball up. He is. So it'll be a ball up, but it's only going to take place just outside the Giants' goal. They'll enjoy getting the first one this quarter if they can. Smout tries to clear it, only gets it as far as, I think it might have been House in the bottom of the pile. Ball's being punched around by a couple of players and has been hurried over the line, rushed over the line for... It was a behind there to the Giants, and now Canberra trying to go on the fast break around the far side of Phillip Oval.
And they're often running another quick kick in. We've seen that a few times tonight from both sides. They get the ball out to the wing. It's near the boundary line. The Giants get it working forward again, but again, a turnover. So the Demons with the footy just off half-back. Angus Baker, he kicks out to the wing. Spots up a teammate. And the Demons, maybe they'll just look to go with a bit of a slower ball movement in this second quarter. It went over the head of Tom Fall. Socket inside 50 for Canberra, but again, the Giants getting back there in numbers. Oh, smother, out of play. So, boundary throw-in, stoppage here, half forward for Canberra. Opportunity for them to try and get something from this contest. Keep an eye on Connor Owen-Orban and Cal Evans. We mentioned Owen-Orban, the Rising Star nominee last week, and Cal Evans, a recruit from the Queanbeyan Tigers, the best and fairest in the local AFL Canberra League last season. Neither of them picking up a disposal in that first quarter. The hit-out was won by Maynard, another Canberra recruit this season from Ainslie. It's hacked forward for Canberra, but again, the Giants' defence setting up well. The ball didn't quite come through to Sam Martin. Out comes Cade Klemke, the playing coach. He's ridden into the ground as soon as he took possession of the ball. And we'll have another ball up just outside 50 for Canberra. I mentioned those two Demons players yet to have a disposal. We've also got about 6 Giants players who haven't touched the ball. And we've got a free kick here for high contact. It will go Canberra's way. So a bit of feeling in this match early in the second quarter. I apologise. It will go the Giants' way.
I think the free kick might have come from there was a bit of a scuffle, a bit of push and shove after Cade Klemke was ridden into the ground on that tackle, Eddie, and I think that's where the free kick's been plucked from.
Perhaps for the retaliation, as we often see. So Zach Sproul took the free, he put it across the ground, and then he'll get it back. Zach Sproul, using the broadcast side of the ground perhaps this time, elects to go inboard. Mark is taken there by Perryman, getting his hands on the ball a couple of times early in this second quarter. Sproul takes another mark, he's been busy. Mark's in front of Alex Paik. He's got the ball in the corridor. He'll go out wide. One-on-one contest. Probably favoured the Canberra player, and Matt Vardaninger didn't really have to move. Took a nice mark, and I reckon his family gave a few cheers there. Kicks it out for Cade Klemke. Gets to him on the bounce. Klemke, he's corralled. Goes with a high left foot kick. It's towards Paik. Did well to take front position, Paik. Couldn't bring down the mark, but brought the ball down to Pollock, who gets it inside 50 quickly. It meant to come to Owen-Orban. It missed him. Maguire was there as well. Demons players have to turn tacklers. And we'll get another ball up just outside 50 for Canberra.
I think the discussion at quarter time from playing coach Kate Klimke there for the Demons may well have been about playing in front, because certainly Canberra doing more of that in attack to start off this second
That's
quarter.
Owen Auburn's first disposal.
Owen Auburn with the long bomb goes up into a high area, but Paik unable to do anything with it. The rebound again, but there's plenty of blue and yellow jerseys. Smout has it. Too far out to score. He's about 60 out from goal at the moment.
Disposal number 12 coming up for Alex Smout.
That's a lot on a night like this so far. Low-scoring game. Goes in towards the hot spot, and that's a nice pass. Getting underneath it is Powell, and he'll have the set shot here. It'll be about 40 out when he kicks.
And good disposals as well from Alex Smout on a night where the skill level hasn't necessarily been high. Found himself dropped from the Demons side late last season, and in that weekend when he was dropped, ended up being a top-up player for the Giants. Racked up more than 30 touches, won his way back into the Demons side, and in very good form over the past few weeks.
Isn't it always the way? Powell now, not much of an angle. Goes for the right footer, doesn't put too much height on it, just decides to go for direction. Gets the vectoring correctly, if my physics terminology is good. And we see the game back to just a couple of points now. The Canberra Demons with the first goal of the second quarter after they had the first goal of the first quarter. Jack Powell, his first for the night. And they have 3-2-20. The Giants 3-4-22 here at Phillip Oval on a Friday night.
2 quick goals to the Demons either side of the quarter-time siren, and that was a much better forward 50 entry. I'll use the cliche, he lowered the eyes there, Alex Smout. Didn't bomb it to the contest, saw the player coming on the lead, kicked it for him to run onto, and Jack Powell with a nice finish. Smout has come off the ground, so he's taking a bit of a rest. And the Demons with Paik up in ruck, and he's got Maguire there in the middle looking for that clearance. So Alex Paik up against Dawson Simpson at this centre bounce. Simpson too tall. I'm not sure Paik really had much of a crack at that one, but there's a free kick for a hold going the Giants' way. The kick comes to the broadcast wing. Caldwell picks it up, runs it on, kicks with a right foot inside 50, cleared the pack. No mark there to Evans. Bit of a pinball here at the moment inside 50. Baker fired the hand pass out, couldn't find a target. It's worked towards the goal square here for the Giants. Umpire pays a free kick for a hold, and Canberra will get out of trouble.
So hard to pick who's got it here. It really is being a game played very much at close quarters. Must be Baker to bring it out for the Demons. They go around the far side of the ground off hands. Bounces a couple of times and eventually does trickle over the boundary line. So the Demons, well, they only get about 35 metres out of that by the looks of it. Be another throw-in to take place. For the Woden Shopping Square and offices. Ball back in play. Paik into the ruck for Canberra. Maguire tried to do something with it. Snap comes off the pack there. It might have been Keefe who had the go at it. But he's got it through just for a point. And the Giants extend their lead. They go to 3-5-23. The Demons 3-2-20. Canberra take their time on the restart. Man getting himself into some space there is Highmore. Highmore now 30 out from his own goal. Then come across because he's got a man on his own here, then Bud. Bud can run all day if he wanted to. Instead, he looks up the ground where there was absolutely nobody. Running into it was Carr. Carr got completely bowled. And then we see the pack very quickly form. Pack of 2. Ball goes down. Umpire says, I'll have it for a ball up. This will take place just outside the centre square. Commentary side of the ground here. Ruckman get ready for it. Call that a tie. It goes in the Giants' direction. And a sent away shorthand pass from Briggs. With a rebound immediately for the Demons side there. Carr again dragged off it as he tries to soccer it off the ground. Ball spurts free over towards the wing on this side now. Smout chasing it for the Canberra Demons and Caldwell chasing it for the Giants. But the boundary line wins and the umpire will pick it up. Toss it in right in front of your Bar TV camera here. Almost exactly the centre wing position, maybe 8 metres the Demons' way.
Boundary thrown right in front of our commentary position. Paik tried to get in front, but Dawson Simpson, he's a bit big. Came to Richardson for the Demons anyway. Kicks inside 50 for Bruce. Can't quite gather. Of course, his brother Josh will be here in Canberra at Manuka Oval for the Saints tomorrow when they play the Giants. Harry Carr gets a hand pass out to Pollock. Pollock with a long ball to an open goal square. It's not going to be quite long enough. Lachlan Keefe gets back. It's a behind for the Demons. So a 2-point ball game at Phillip Oval. 23 plays 21. We're in the second quarter. Here on NEAFL TV, this round 5 clash between the Canberra Demons and the Giants. Friday night footy in the nation's capital. The Giants go direct with the kick in, nearly to the centre of the ground. It went over Dawson Simpson's head. They've got it to halfway. They didn't end up winning the footy there, the Giants, but they've certainly gained a lot of territory. Smout with another disposal. Goes down the line and finds Bruce. Bruce rolls onto the right foot, sends it inside 50. Again, the Giants players flying, knocking the ball to ground, but Hardy was in a good position, gave it to Evans. Evans' kick was smothered, so there's a contest for the ball on ground level. Umpire calls play on. It's hacked out of defence. Maynard is tracking it back here for Canberra. He picks it up, hands it off to Martin. Martin ends up with a short kick that missed the intended target. It's out near the boundary line. Ball on the deck. Giants players get there. But they're under the pump as well. It's a hot contest in this second quarter. The umpire's paid a free kick for a hold, and that'll get the Giants out of defence. It
will indeed. And they've been stout in defence there. Taking it forward for them is Bonner. Goes for the short pass. Way over the far side of the ground there. I reckon it might have been Simpson who'd actually picked it up there. Big man looking little at such a distance. Centre wing. Ball comes back in. Simpson will get another crack. A man on his own in the middle of the ground. Instead goes for the shorter option, finds Perryman. Perryman now uses that man in the middle of the ground in Stein, and Stein, he's got plenty of time. He can go for a run, goes for the pass instead, puts the ball into the forward line. Contested footy, ball tossed to the path of Buckley. It's Jack Buckley for the Giants. Now they turn around again. Shot from out near the 50-metre line comes from Langdon. Zach Langdon, well, he's played plenty of AFL footy. 19 games in the AFL for the Giants last year and showing plenty of that AFL skill here as he gets one through. Probably going to be the goal of the night. They don't come much harder than that, Eddie.
Mature age recruit from the Waffle with Claremont. Plenty of experience that he brought to the Giants AFL side last year, making his return from a foot injury in the NEAFL last weekend. And if he keeps kicking goals like that, he'll find his way back into the senior side pretty quickly. So it's the Giants now back out to an 8-point lead.
I like how he added to the difficulty of it there as well. Had it not just at the junction of the 50 and the boundary, but got the ball, turned around, ran around through almost the full 360, and then put it through. Only just got through, but they only just have to get through. And once again, the Giants, well, they're maintaining this buffer. They were 7 points up at the break, and right now they lead by 8.
So they're just keeping the Demons at arm's length as that bounce went a good few arm's length outside the centre circle. So we'll have a redo in the middle of the ground. Maynard up against Flynn. A big fly there from Maynard. In the end, Flynn probably knocked it down. It's socked forward by O'Halloran for the Giants. He goes and wins his own ball, knocks it out to the side. Picked up there by Shipley, who gave the hand pass back to Caldwell. Caldwell just skewed slightly off the side of the boot, got it towards half forward. Now it's socked into a pretty open forward line for Mooney to run onto. He's in the pocket. He's taken over the boundary line. And we'll get a throw-in forward pocket for the Giants just in front of that cricket centre here in Phillip.
A few calls for deliberate there as he didn't seem to make any attempt to run anywhere other than out over the boundary line. But it's the Giants who get the advantage there. Ball comes back into play. Offhands, Caldwell has it. Langdon got a difficult goal a few minutes ago. That one would have been even harder because he would have been threading it through a needle. Ball still in dispute. Bud then turns it around, finds Martin. Now this is better stuff from the home side at the moment. They get it around about 50 out from their own goal before the clearing kick comes. Waiting for it there was Roberts. It's gone over the boundary line. He couldn't maintain control and we'll get a throw in, but the ball now in the half, or the centre wing position on the far side of the ground. Keep feeling like there's someone who's pretending they're a scorer at the MCG in one of those cars. I see them flashing their headlights a couple of times at the centre bounce, just in that car in the background in your shot right now. Ball comes out towards the Demons' favour. Evans was the man who probably could have got most of it, but can't do a lot with it. Now the Giants, they come up with it. But again, still plenty of pressure, plenty of contest. And that means it's very hard for the ball to get away. Maynard may have been the man to break through the pack and do it, but instead, another throw-in to take place. You see Flynn with that distinctive bandage on his left leg. In the ruck, up against Maynard. We'll give that one to Flynn, and then we'll give the ball back to the umpire in a second. There's the whistle. Scrappy footy here. Giants leading by 8 as we are nearly at 14 minutes gone in the second quarter.
Nick Shipley, just the 4 disposals so far for the Giants. He's averaged more than 30 in 3 games in the NEAFL so far this season. So the Demons doing a good job to keep one of the Giants' best players to a minimal influence so far in this match. As we see another stoppage inside 50 for the Giants, who are also without Isaac Cumming tonight. He's been called up to the AFL, had 72 disposals over the past 2 games, which is a pretty decent, healthy amount of touches to pick up in 2 weeks.
That's handy. That is handy.
The ball's thrown up. It's knocked down by Maynard. Taken there by Maguire. He's taken to ground. We'll get another ball up inside 50 for the Giants, who hold an 8-point lead midway through this second quarter. Umpire gets things moving quickly. Flynn jumped high and knocked it down. There's a hurried kick forward here for the Giants, but it goes way out of bounds and gives the crowd a little bit of marking practice. Klemke doesn't really want to jump over the fence to get that ball, so luckily he's got a young friend there. Young fella comes in, gets his hands on the footy. I think that was a throw, but that's all right. We won't pay a free kick against him. It'll be Riley Budd to take possession here for the Canberra Demons. Umpire sets the mark, and Budd just pokes it short to Klemke. Stayed in the air a little longer than Riley Budd would have liked. His kicking hasn't been at its best tonight, but Klemke did enough to take the mark. He drives it to that outer side of the ground. It comes out to Paik, but he can't keep it in play, and we'll get yet another stoppage outer side of the ground, just outside 50 for the Giants. They're up by 8.
The Demons lucky that Paik got anything on that one at all, as the ball went over the boundary line, but comes back into play once again. Giants get it through Flynn, but it's the Demons who shark it off the ground. Turning around the far side of the ground, but mark taken there. It might have been Simpson. Now they're working it around, switching sides of the ground. Stein has it, sends it across to the grandstand side. One-on-one competition. Chasing in there is Moline. Moline asks for a hold. So do the fans on the grandstand side, and they get what they wanted. The free kick comes to Moline. The Riverina product goes for the short ball. Pops it into Roberts. And he just went the 15, but that's long enough. Canberra flooding forward now in numbers. Long ball comes from Roberts. It'll land just inside the 50. Could have been a push in the back there. Umpire says it was a push in the side there from Connor Iden. Ball comes off the hands. Throwing to take place about 60 around from the Giants' goal.
Aaron Bruce, the Canberra captain, has just come off the ground and run straight up to the Canberra Demons' room. So we'll keep an eye as to whether Aaron Bruce returns to the field anytime soon.
See what happens with him there. Maynard gets the ball, but again, Pack over the top of it. At some stage, a game of footy might actually break out here instead of the keepings off that's happening here. Trying to burst out of the pack was Richardson. Tried to go underground. It was only wound up being pushed further into the underground. Please get back to us with some reports on the subterranean realm later, Richardson. Another ball up from just outside the attacking 50 for the Canberra Demons. And we've got another whistle, and there's been a free kick picked out here. This one will see the Giants getting the ball out from that end of the ground as they go short and find Matthew Flynn. Another Riverina product. Plenty of those around too. It's not too far from the Riverina. There'll be plenty of Wagga and Narandra people making their way across tomorrow. Ball comes off hands, taken there by House. Pops it around, finds Smout. Smout can't do a lot with it. Nearly wound up back with it. Comes to Moline. Moline then gets it through the ground to Highmore. Highmore to Smout. Smout, perfect pass. Perfect pass, gave it to Hardy. Hardy thought about playing on, changed his mind, then changed his mind again, puts it in towards the goal square. Juggling from Budd, he's put it to ground, he turns around, can he get the shot away? No, he gives it to a teammate right in the goal square. And I think it might have been Harry Carr who's been the beneficiary of that. He's certainly a happy Harry tonight. And we're back to the close one, 2 points the difference, 29-27 in favour of the Giants.
The kick didn't really favour Reece Pollock. He was outsized, he was out-positioned, but he managed to win the ball, couldn't take the mark, but got it moving on there to Harry Carr, and he nailed the goal from the goal square. And the Demons fans and players are up and about in this second quarter. A bit more spice in the match in the second term. The crowd's getting involved, and they've got a good contest to watch. Just a 2-point margin as we get closer to time on in the second quarter.
There's got to be an aspect of nerves here as well for the Demons up against this Giants side. I'm just looking at it. Caldwell was the Giants' first pick in 2018 in the draft. Bonner was their first pick in 2017. You've got the AFL level players of like Keefe and Langdon and Sproul in there as well. And
Shipley and Perryman.
And O'Halloran, the Victorian Metro under-18 captain last year. So there's plenty of talent out there. So it just takes a bit of time maybe for the nerves to settle for the home side.
As Bonner got the clearance and he's found a target inside 50, so the Giants looking to get a quick reply here. Another factor, Chris, I saw Mitch Maguire speaking to Canberra Demons TV, just saying, well, a few of the blokes are at work today and some of them are on the tools. And you might need to try and take a few smokos during the day to stay fresh. As Zach Sproul gets ready to have another shot on goal, he's been a handy player so far this evening. He's already kicked one major. He removes the glove and does a bit of a warm-up, and he's looking for goal number 2.
Does Albury count as Riverina, or is that border?
You tell me, Chris. You're the unofficial mayor of Wagga.
I reckon Albury probably wouldn't like to be called as in the Riverina.
Ovens and Murray, we'll call it. But that's where he's from. Zach Sproul. And again, this slow and steady and stuttering approach. He kicks from just outside the paint of 50. It's a high ball. It'll be touch and go as to whether it makes the distance. It doesn't. It's off hands. It was away to the right anyway. A minor score for the Giants, and they're back out to that 3-point lead. Tom Highmore to do the kick-in duties, the co-vice captain for Canberra. A little bit indecisive. He's got Maguire on short. Elects to go towards the boundary line there for Baker. Baker goes into the corridor. Powell took a nice mark. Calling for his teammates to give him a bit of an option, Jack Powell. Just sends it out to the wing. Good option. Demons players streaming forward to try and get on the end of this passage of play. Maguire had run up the field. He couldn't quite tack that mark. It's off hands, and we'll have a throw-in between wing and half-forward for Canberra.
We saw in the Demons dressing room before the game, Eddie, the hydration station that they've got set up with the scales and the weights, the scales there in the chart where the players put down their pre-game weights. And I made the comment to you before the game that perhaps this would be a tough night for players to lose weight because it's not really warm. The Demons players are doing a lot of running, end-to-end stuff, as they go into attack once again. They're going to lose plenty in sweat here as the ball being contested in there. Richardson, one of the players in there. He's standing back waiting for it to come out. Laying the tackle was Buckley for the Giants, but the umpire will ball it up. About 45, make it 40 out on a 45-degree angle from the Demons' goal. The goal here puts the Demons in front. They haven't been there since the early stages of the first quarter. Wait and see if the ball can come out from the bottom of the pack. Well, it does, slowly but surely, along the ground. Comes out towards the Giants, but it's been sharked there by Richardson. He loses it. Back into the pack goes the ball. Over the top, 4 or 5 players, and the umpire says he'll have another crack at it. This time it'll be a ball up 40 metres out, directly in front.
Aaron Bruce, the captain, is back on the interchange bench for Canberra. Looks like he's ready to return to the field.
Good news. Ball up one, I think actually won by the Giants in the end. Trying to kick it off the ground there. Little stabby kick in towards goal. Chasing after it was Pollock for the Demons. And a scrubby old kick in the end goes the wrong side of the posts. It was Roberts who got the snap kick away. And it just dribbled and through for a minor score. So we're back to a 2-point game. 4-4-28, 4-6-30, Giants way.
2-1 to the Demons so far in this quarter. Trying to get that third goal of the term to give themselves the lead. They only led very early in the match when Tom Fall kicked that opening point from the opening centre clearance. The ball comes out here towards Reid for the Giants, but good pressure from the Demons. They get the ball out of play. We'll have a throw-in just outside 50 for Canberra. 2-point ball game, Phillip Oval. Demons going to the northern end in this quarter, while the Giants are kicking to the right of your screen to the Woden end. Doesn't seem to be any real wind affecting this contest tonight, but as we mentioned earlier, it has been a wet day in the ACT. Simpson won it down with both hands. Maguire was trying to run onto it. He was under pressure from Bonner, and we will get another boundary throw-in just outside the forward 50 for the Demons. So they're starting to control field position in the past few minutes. Just want to make sure they make the most of any opportunities they have going forward. Simpson and Paik in ruck this time. Paik does get in front, but Simpson won it down from the back. The ball is on the ground. It's picked up by Owen Orban. He goes with a high kick in the direction of Tom Fall. He's worked underneath it. He recovers pretty well at ground level, Tom Fall. Continues chasing the footy. It's out near the boundary line. We'll get a ball up. So another stoppage in attack for Canberra. They need to try and make the most of it. It's difficult when you've got Dawson Simpson up against Alec Paik in the ruck. The ball did go over the boundary line there, so it'll be thrown in. Boundary umpire sends it back into play, and Simpson wins another hit out. Pretty scrappy stuff. The Demons doing well to lock the ball inside their 50, and we'll have another crack.
Maguire it was who was taken to the ground with it. Umpire will ball it up again. There'll be people who say, Canberra, it's cold. The Canberra side will be used to it. Bear in mind, this is the first, or maybe the second really cold night we've had here in the nation's capital so far this year.
I'm not sure it's even that cold, Chris.
Oh, well, true. But we are up in a box, Eddie.
By Canberra standards.
By Canberra standards, true. By Sydney standards, it's positively
it's
Arctic.
chilly.
Yeah, ball comes back into play.
It's 14 degrees.
Canberra looking to jag the lead before half-time, but at the moment the ball rolling in favour of the Giants. Did you say it's 14 degrees?
Apparently.
Really? Doesn't feel it.
That's what the bomb says.
Okay. Oh, who am I to argue with the Bureau of Meteorology?
Well,
let's not get into that. It's been far too political at the moment. The ball in dispute at the moment finally comes out in the Canberra Demons direction. A good bit of a push and shove there coming from Evans with his new look haircut, making him hard to identify for a moment. But again, plenty of players and the ball not moving much. So, well, we wait for it to get kicked out. Now, it does get cleared away. Unable to take the grab there was O'Halloran for the Giants, but the ball's still in space. Demons coming up with it on the rebound, though. Only as far as James Pope. And Pope has it as he waits. Will he switch play? Has a couple of options. Goes short. Gives it on to Iden.
Apparent temperature's only 11, Chris, so it's certainly not warm.
There we go. So it's cool enough. Mind you, not like when we had Friday night footy here in the AFL last year. What was it, 4 degrees or 3 degrees?
The NT Thunder players didn't enjoy that.
The NT Thunder game last year was 3 degrees and torrential rain at the first bounce last year, and that was in June. And it was wind blowing in direct from McMurdo Sound. That was a Canberra midwinter special. That, by the way, a fixture change too for the NT Thunder. Their game here in June will be a day game, not a night game as was originally scheduled. Let's see what the Demons can do. Bursting through out of the pack there is Maguire, showing the skills that have put him on AFL clubs' radars according to some of the gossip, but I think he may have gone too far.
He showed those skills for just a little bit too long.
An extra step.
Too many.
Too many, and it'll be a Giants ball.
So the Demons just coughing up the footy again inside 50 and letting the Giants out of trouble for the time being. They work it towards the wing on the outer side of the ground. And a chance here now for the Giants with a pretty open forward line as they turn. It's a one-on-one inside 50. That's where they go. Good work by Canberra. They get it out towards the boundary line and over. So bit of a lucky break there for the Demons. Not hurt on the counter-attack there in that open forward line. And the players all now drawn like a magnet towards this contest. There'll just be 2 players in the Demons forward half of the ground when the ball is thrown back in. Into attack for the Giants. Flynn and Paik comes out to the front. No clear disposal there, and the crowd wanted holding the ball, and they get it. So a free kick for Canberra, and their defenders standing up pretty well under a bit of pressure over the last few moments. The Demons trailing by 2 points. Time on in the second quarter. Kick comes to the wing. Powell was waiting for it to come out. It's on the ground. It does come to Powell. He gives it off, and now the Demons are off and running. It's a foot race for the ball. Harry Carr is second to the ball, but he applies a bit of pressure. Did well there, Harry Carr. Waited for Hardy to come by. Hardy put his head over the ball, but in the end he's coughed it up. The Giants will just work it out of the area. And the umpire says it'll be a boundary throw-in. So it'll be thrown in between wing and half forward for Canberra on that outer side of the ground.
Hasn't been a game for the purists so far. It is a real hard slog out there. I'm wondering whether the surface is perhaps a little bit heavier than we're giving it credit for, Eddie. Ball comes back into play. Maynard gets the best of it. Now Robertson for the Demons. It's back into the middle of the pack. There's a whistle. Umpire says that one will be holding on, and it'll be the Demons to get it. Free kick will be taken by Powell. He signals long. Mahadi underneath it. Gets it off the hands. Finds a hand pass. Back to it might have been Evans. Ball going into towards the goal, but it's Baker who can't control, and again it's out over the boundary line. About 20 around, so the Canberra Demons, they're doing it incrementally at the moment. low-scoring game, you don't have to do it all at once. Ball back into field of play. It's all Giants, but, I think that may have been Iden kicking it into the back of his ruckman. I mean, Simpson is a hard man to get it over, and suddenly, from absolutely nowhere, it's come off the pack, it's been snapped through, and it's a goal to the Demons, and they take the lead. And I can't tell you who it was who's picked it up. We'll wait for the champion data guys to give it to us.
It's the playing coach.
Good Lord. He doesn't kick too many, and he'll take that one as a very special one for this year. Congratulations, Cade Klemke, getting that one on and putting his side in front. The Canberra Demons 5-4-34, the Giants 4-6-30, and we are well into time on here in the second quarter. Can the home side hang on to a lead for the long break, Eddie?
Well, Tom Fall kicked a goal of the year contender back in round one at Ainslie against the Gold Coast when he ran almost the length of the field. That's certainly the goal of the day so far from Cade Klemke. And I had to check that 2 or 3 times, Chris, and it still says Cade Klemke, so we can only assume that it was him.
I looked and I thought, I wasn't game to make the call because I thought he's not normally in that position. I'll still take the Langdon goal from the 50-metre mark as the goal of the day. Eddie's just shaking his head at me. We'll agree to disagree. We'll watch it back in replay later. Ball back in play. The Giants looking to steal the lead back before the break. Langdon doing plenty of chasing, tapping forward and continuing to chase, showing good courage, but now comes back to the Demons. On the outside, that'll be Richardson.
And he was bumped after he kicked, and that's going to be a downfield free to the Demons, and it looks like Cal Evans can end up with the ball.
Evans puts the ball, like I say, he was looking to go square. Instead, he's gone forward. Waiting underneath it was Harry Carr. He couldn't do anything with it. Ball goes out over the boundary line. Eddie O struggled last time it was down here for a throw-in. It's your turn.
I think when you get a goal like that from Cade Klemke, it adds a bit of a buzz to the side, and I think the Demons will be looking to try and draw a bit of momentum. A goal from the boundary line to put you in front from your playing coach just gives you a bit of a confidence boost. It's thrown back into play. Maynard and Simpson. Simpson in front, knocked it down decisively, but the ball's not coming free. So we'll get another ball up in a dangerous position here. 40 metres out from the Canberra Demons goal, almost directly in front. Maynard and Simpson again. Simpson won it down easily, but it came to Smout, who gives it to Bruce. Bruce turned into the tackle from Bonner, managed to knock it free towards Osborne. There's a push in the back here, and Aaron Bruce, the captain, will get a free kick, and he'll look to try and extend the Demons' lead.
Won't be the easiest of kicks here, but he'll get the set shot. Can't imagine there's too long left in this quarter either. The scoreboard clock reading 31:10.
Riley Budd just looks in a bit of pain on the boundary line, just looking as if he's trying to jog out. A bit of an issue with his lower leg, perhaps his right ankle. We'll keep an eye on Riley Budd. As Aaron Bruce, he'll kick from a pretty sharp angle. He'll end up kicking from probably around 40 metres out to extend the Demons' lead to an even 10 points. He runs around and hits the post.
Well, he opened the gate, but he couldn't get through.
Pretty good effort there from Aaron Bruce in the pocket, and it's a 5-point ball game. The Demons 5-5-35, the Giants 4-6-30.
Giants will need to go pretty well coast to coast here, you would imagine. Iden has it for them for the long kick in. I'm impressed by this. If he played for Carlton, there'd be guys going woof for it. He's found the ball down to Sproul. Sproul finally finds a way across to Bonner. Bonner gets it to Caldwell. Last time Caldwell had a chance at a kick, he went for an air swing. This time, oh geez, form's fallen right off. Gave the ball to Roberts then from the Demons, and the Demons, well, they can rebound from half back. Something they haven't had a lot of chance to do so far this season. This time, though, the ball trickles towards the boundary line, and it's out of bounds. Adjacent to the Canberra Demons sign. Not too much left before the break.
Been impressed with Roberts. 9 disposals and 3 clearances for him so far today.
Back into play. Almost unopposed there was Flynn. Now that might have been Caldwell again. If it was, it's a pretty decent kick. And if the Giants have got speed here, which they do in the forward line, they could wind up with the lead at half-time. They will, because that's Kieran Briggs who's picked it up, turned around and bangs it through for a goal and puts his side back in front by the slenderest of margins. The Giants 5-6-36, the Demons 5-5-35. 33 minutes gone in this second term.
Feels like it's raining goals all of a sudden at Phillip. Couple of goals for the Giants in this quarter, 3 for the Canberra Demons, and things really evening up in this contest. And just the forward lines maybe opening up a little, and we may see as the game goes on, the players start to tire, that opportunities for goals start to open up a bit more.
If fatigue becomes a factor and it's still close, I reckon the visitors would fancy their chances there.
They would, but the Demons showed last week, and admittedly it was against a non-AFL side in Sydney Uni, they were able to come from behind, kick the last couple of goals to get over the top of the Students there at Henson Park last week. So their final quarters haven't been as bad this season as perhaps they were last season, the Demons, but you're right, 16 AFL listed players in this Giants side, they will most likely run the match out better as Guy Richardson runs onto the ball, gave it off by hand, now the kick comes to Bruce, it's knocked away from him, Smout followed up his own kick, gets another kick forward, Evans is sitting underneath it, can't reel it in. In fact, his opponent takes the mark. It was Owen Orban underneath the footy as well. Kick comes out now for Simpson, takes the mark. And that's all she wrote at half-time. And we go into the main break with a real good contest on our hands. It's a 1-point margin. The Giants 5-6-36 lead the Canberra Demons 5-5-35.
Not far off a start for the second half here at Phillip Oval, Friday night footy in the NEAFL from the nation's capital. Goodish crowd in for tonight. Certainly to the several hundreds, given that it's quite cool, about 10 degrees, the apparent temperature at the moment. Quick clarification as well, we've double-checked this now, and we've had multiple views of the replay checked, and it was actually Hardy who got the goal there that was credited to Klemke. Fooled everyone on the ground. We did then get a giveaway that Klemke was apparently on the bench at the time, so it would be very hard to kick a goal from there, Eddie Williams.
It would. I did see him on the bench, and I thought maybe they did the thing where the player kicks the goal and sprints straight off the ground. But Mitch Hardy now becomes the only multiple goal scorer on the field. We've done a bit of an even up after we gave Mitch Hardy a goal that Cal Evans kicked back in round one. But we're all set to go. Third quarter action here at Phillip Oval. It's the Giants leading the Canberra Demons by a point. What can the Demons find in this second half? Can they run out the match and come from behind to knock off the Giants? It'll be Maynard to go up in ruck against Dawson Simpson. Demons going to the right of your screen in this third quarter. The Giants to the left. Maynard won that ball down. Tom Fall came off the half-forward line, gets the hand pass forward for Roberts to try and run onto. Just pokes it inside 50. It's a loose forward line. Giants are there in numbers. Thought I might have heard a whistle, but no play on. Giants, a few hand passes on that outer side. They've come unstuck, and the ball gets over the boundary line. So we'll have a throw in on the outer side of the ground, just outside 50 for Canberra. Alex Smout goes into the second half with 20 disposals to his name for the Canberra Demons. The next best on the ground is Angus Baker with 13. In fact, Smout has already ticked up to 21 disposals, on track to surpass the 32 disposals or 31 disposals that he's been averaging over the past few weeks. The Giants have the ball in defence. It's with Jack Buckley. He comes to our broadcast side. Vardaniga tried to influence the contest. He did well on ground level. Matt Vardaniga won the ball, managed to get some sort of a kick away, but it's turned over. Comes out now to Keefe. Keefe's kick didn't really favour his teammate, but Brown can try and run onto it at the back. It's poked forward Canberra's way, but only as far as Bonner. Manages to get the hand pass forward to Caldwell. Caldwell gives the hand pass off. Now the flying shot on goal comes from Hill, and Bobby Hill's kicked his second.
I'm going from memory here, Eddie, but I don't think there was too much difference between that one and the one that Bobby Hill got to start things off at the start of the day. Largely similar position and on the run.
Well, he's had a habit of bobbing up Bobby Hill, and he extends the Giants' lead to 7 points.
It's the old joke about, what do you call a man in a swimming pool? Bob. So he got. So you mentioned that it was Mitch Hardy, the only multiple goal scorer of the game. Well, he's now been joined by Bobby Hill. And a real footy family, the Hill family. A couple of them playing for Freo this year.
Yeah, his cousins, Bradley and Stephen Hill, there with the Dockets.
And his father, a famous name in Perth football as well. And Ian Bobby Hill, recruited by the Giants from the Perth Demons. The Giants, well, they extend their lead. They go to 6-6-42. The Demons 5-5-35, and we've only been playing a couple of minutes here in the third quarter. Ball goes down in the middle of the park, and it's grabbed out of the air by Simpson. Dawson Simpson sends a kick to absolutely nobody. It bounces multiple times. Bonner might get to it. There's a whistle blown in there. One of the Canberra Demons players held off the ball, and so it'll be a free kick. And that'll be going to Roberts. Roberts works it around the outer side of the ground. No one able to maintain control. We've had reports too that the ground is actually a lot wetter than we thought it might have been, and you can hear the players squelching off the ground as they come off at the breaks. A lot of hand passing going on from the Giants as the ball winds up with Langdon. Langdon has the shot on goal, but it's not quite on line, and just one more point, a minor score for the GWS Giants, and they move on to 6-7-43. The Demons 5-5-35. The Demons bringing the ball back into play, coming around the grandstand side. There's a change of mind from Richardson, and they work it back into the goal square. Or it's Smout who sends the ball over to the other boundary. Calling for it in the middle of the park there is House, but I don't fancy his chances because there's been a lot of play around the far side, and the Demons have nearly turned it over. A couple of handballs. Might be Evans over there with it, trying to clear it, getting the ball out of dodge outside their own 50. Robertson involved. Clearing kick off the ground for the Giants, and just kept from going out over out of bounds on the full, off the hands of a pack, and it'll be a throw in right in front of the very, very bright electronic scoreboard here at Phillip.
So another stoppage inside 50 for the Giants. Their leading possession winner so far, Perryman and Sproul, both with 11 disposals each. Smout has already ticked up to 22 for the Canberra Demons, so getting plenty of the ball again this week as it's bobbling around inside 50 for the Giants. They've got it in a dangerous position. Umpires paid a free kick for high contact. It will go the Canberra Demons' way, so they'll be able to get out of strife for the time being. Owen Orban has the ball. Just pokes it short out towards the boundary line.
Smout again.
And perhaps they'll look to just use a few short kicks and take a bit of a calmer movement forward this time, the Demons. They go back inside defensive 50 to Highmore. He wants someone to run for him. He's got Martin on, still inside defensive 50. He's got Helfs nearby if he wants him. I think that's where he'll go. He does. Ben Helfs takes the mark just inside the field of play. He's got Baker on short, Richardson a little longer than that. Or he might come all the way to the centre wing position. Owen Orban was caught behind. Bonner knocked it away from him. It's over the boundary line and we'll get a boundary throw in. So for all those short kicks, the Demons only just managed to get the ball outside their defensive 50, and another stoppage and another chance for the Giants with their dominance in the ruck, with Dawson Simpson to go up against Josh Maynard to try and get another clearance, another entry inside 50, and to try and put on another goal in this third term. It is Simpson winning the hit out down towards Shipley. The ball came out to O'Halloran, a high kick towards the goal square. It's off hands through for a minor score. Giants by 9.
Well, still no free-flowing footy breaking out here. The virtual arm wrestle continues. Baker, where can he go? He had Smout on this side instead. Goes the other way. Gets it onto Paik. Paik, something we haven't seen much of so far. Goes for the long kick, but it rebounds off hands again. The Giants forcing it back into the forward 50. Highmore had it, lost it. Goes back to Baker. Baker turns around. Now he bombs it long outside the 50-metre arc, but it's again intercepted by the Giants. They can just turn it around back inside the attacking arc, and Sproul charging through. The pack just opened up in front of him, and he was able to take that one quite comfortably. He'll take the shot here.
Already one goal for Zach Sproul, and pretty consistent in his setup. Puts the ball on the ground, takes the glove off, and he'll come in with that stutter and that skip step. It'll start off pretty slow, and then he'll get a bit of power into the kick from those last couple of steps.
It intrigues me that he takes the glove off before he has the shot. Obviously likes how the ball feels on the glove going into his hand, but not how it feels coming out.
Quinton Lynch used to do the same thing.
True. Sproul has one. Has a lot on it. It has the height, but I don't think it has the accuracy. It doesn't. It's gone near side. And the Giants, for all their attacking prowess in this early stage of this third quarter, have added just one goal and a couple of behinds. And the Canberra Demons still very much in the thick of it. And finally, a long bomb out from fullback gets them a little bit further than they've been able to do so in the past. And the second long kick. Maybe the Giants have adapted to this, and suddenly Canberra have men in space. Playing behind there, though, was Owen Orban, who was up the other end of the ground not so long ago. And, surprise, surprise.
He's given away a free there.
Oh, he has actually given away a free. I thought it had gone out over the boundary line. There we go. So, a free kick. And for the Giants, they go short ball to Caldwell. Caldwell switch play across to the goal square. Dangerous play, but it came off because he got it in the right spot. The next kick, though, well, this is dangerous. That's Paik on the ground. Hand pass comes out. Comes back to Maguire, and Maguire's shot has stayed just inside the post. It has, and he's got a point out of it. Well, that could have been a lot more damaging for the Giants, but we're back where they were a moment ago with the ball in the goal square. Initially waiting for it was Stein, but the change of mind, and again working it around or further to the other side of the ground. Centre half back for the Giants. Little hand pass out of the middle comes from Reece Mooney. Fleet of foot this Giants side. Tapping it forward to his own advantage is Peatling. Now there's a few in there. Ball comes forward, and this man, well, he's been very, very dangerous so far. kicked one of the goals of the night earlier in the match, Zach Langdon. This one will be considerably easier for him. It'll be the set shot. It'll be from 30 metres out on maybe a 5-degree angle. Really
like the look of Zach Langdon so far tonight. We know the Giants in the AFL have a pretty good forward line set up. Jeremy Cameron and Jeremy Finlayson, and their midfielders tend to kick goals as well. Stephen Cornelio had a bag last week. But if Zach Langdon continues the form that he's showing tonight, he'll find himself back in the AFL as well.
All you can do when you're playing in the NEAFL, when you're an AFL listed player, is come out there and show that you're a class above the rest of the competition. Langdon's had a pretty good night tonight. That one creeps in towards the right post, but no problem at all. Zach Langdon has his third for the night. The Giants, they get their seventh of the night, 7-9-51. The Canberra Demons 5-6-36. And the lead now moves out to 15 points.
Well, 16 AFL-listed players on the field for the Giants, and all 6 of their goals coming to those AFL-listed players. Langdon and Hill with a couple each, and singles to Sproul, Briggs and Brown, which equates to 7 goals, not 6. Apologies. But those AFL-listed players hitting the scoreboard for the Giants, and just that little bit extra class, a little bit extra polish with their disposal we've seen so far from the Giants, and just a slightly better setup, particularly when the Demons go forward. The Giants defenders seem to be setting up in the right way to get the ball out of defence pretty quickly. Interesting to see Tom Fall in at this centre bounce, not in the ruck, but going in there as a midfielder, so something a bit different from the Demons. Maynard didn't really contest that centre bounce, but he ended up receiving a hand pass. His kick wasn't a great one. It was chopped off by Iden. Iden gets it moving through the middle of Phillip Oval. Inside 50, Pake in a good position for Canberra, knocks it away from the contest out towards the boundary line, and eventually over the boundary line. We'll have a throw-in outside 50 for the Giants.
15 points is the largest margin in the game. The Demons have overcome 13 and 14-point breaks so far, but it's almost as though it's the stretching of the elastic band. How much is there in it before it breaks? Ball comes back into play. The Giants have had the bulk of possession and the bulk of territory in this third quarter so far. Connor Owen-Auburn it was with the flying kick there, a long way up and off the hands of the pack. And again, the Giants in numbers as they send the ball back inside the forward 50. Picked up off the ground. Oh, good tackle. Umpire says no, play on. Pake in there, tries to get the ball out, does so. Only gets it as far as one of those Giants players it was O'Halloran who had it. The umpire says no, we're going to actually ball it up. Ball goes to ground. Now chasing after it is Maynard. Maynard versus the boundary line, and the line wins. Ball goes out of play. Hardly been in the forward half for Canberra in this third term, as we're 11 minutes in, and I'd reckon it'd be probably 8 minutes, maybe 7 minutes in this end of the field to the left of your screen. Ball comes back into play. Decent contest, good clearing kick there. Comes from, I think it may have been House who sent it further down the field, and the Giants, the Demons rather have it. The ball going, well, there's nobody at home, so it'll be a foot race into what used to be Pagan's paddock.
Might be Pollock's paddock now.
Well, it is Pollock's paddock, but Pollock's paddock pushes it over the line. I ran out of P words, Eddie. I was trying very hard, but the ball will come back in courtesy of an umpire's boundary throw. Canberra, well, they really do need the next one just to maybe prevent panic from setting in. Ball back into play. Waiting underneath it, well, easily won by the Giants in Simpson. But again, there's a pack here, waiting for the ball to come free. I'm going to call for the leg there, but no, the ball was already out of play. It was Fall making the tackle. The ball already out of the field of play. Yet another boundary throw in.
Interesting to see how the modern game is played. A few moments ago when the ball was in the Giants forward half, every player was there. Now we're inside 50 for the Demons, and every player in the Canberra Demons forward half of the ground. No one able to get clean possession. Fall managed to flick it out to Powell, who kicks it towards full forward. It comes to ground. There'll be a snap on goal, and it's missed away to the right. Might have been Aaron Bruce there.
I think it was.
Trying to get his side another goal, but he's missed to the right. So we're behind for the Demons, and the Giants get the kick in out towards Sproul. Coming in was Brown, couldn't take the mark. So the ball's in dispute at the back of the pack. Klemke got over the ball. He's dispossessed. He was taken high, and the playing coach will get a free kick. The ball was not thrown directly to him. I think Cade Klemke would be pretty keen on a 50-metre penalty, but there's nothing doing. So he's going to send the Demons into attack. Waiting for a lead, Cade Klemke. Puts it up into the pocket. And flying in from the side to take the mark is that man again, the captain, Aaron Bruce. He's got the man on the mark right on 50, and he's shaping like he might have a crack at this one.
Can't say you'd blame him. I wonder if maybe a slightly more direct pattern of attack might pay a dividend. We haven't seen a lot of corridor footy here tonight, but Bruce with this one will be about 45-degree angle. Got a pretty good view of it here on the tee.
Will he have a shot? Will he just set it up to the top of the goal square? He unloads with a pretty good kick from outside 50. It's across the face. Won't have the distance in the end. It's in the goal square. And it's off. It's off the boot. It's a goal.
Oh, good luck, Eddie.
Well, we don't know, so we're not going to guess again. But it is a goal to the Canberra Demons. They've made something from nothing. And Aaron Bruce, with that nice mark, able to get the ball into an attacking position. And when the ball's in the goal square, it's always a good spot to have the footy. And the Demons have managed to work it through for a goal. One they needed. Their sixth of the match, their first of this third quarter. They are 6-7-43. The Canberra Demons, they trail the Giants 7-9-51.
Would you call that chaos ball? As Pollock was the man who's been officially given...
Pollock's paddock.
There we go. Pollock's paddock
Pretty
shrunk.
crowded paddock.
It was, but he got the ball through for the major.
Bit of a live wire, Reece Pollock. Really impressive in round one in that match against the Gold Coast, a Marist College product from here in Canberra, and good to see him having an impact with the Demons in 2019.
Just casting my mind back to that game here 2 weeks ago on Good Friday against Southport. We did see a lot of footy up and down the middle of the ground in that game. And it paid dividends for Canberra. I'm just curious as to why that hasn't been the case for much of today. Both of these sides a lot keener to play the ball around the outer edge of Phillip Oval. We've got a hold in there, and the free will go Canberra's way. So they've got a chance here to put successive goals on the board. And, well, no prizes for guessing who's got the ball in his hand. It's Smout. He has had a very good game tonight. That would be disposal 25 for him. Over the head of Connor Owen-Orban. Has been picked up off the ground on the bounce. Comes back now for Bruce. Bruce, he goes for the long bomb. It won't be long enough. It'll bounce just inside the field of play. Takes a right turn towards the cricket setup. And the throw-in to come. 8 points the difference here. It has been a seesawing affair here tonight. Not one for the purists, but certainly a struggle. The ball comes back in. Giants get the best of it, but it comes back towards the boundary line. Big pack forming, waiting to see if anyone can get the best of it. This really is sometimes like watching the Oz kick at half-time. Finally spills free. Taken with the ball was Briggs. Play on, says the umpire. Ball comes around the outside. And for the Demons, it's Smout. Puts the ball back in, looking for someone at centre-half forward. But instead, ball again off the turf. I haven't seen too many bad kicks from Smout tonight. That was probably his worst. In at the bottom of the pile now. Might have been Hardy diving in. And coming through, I think it was Osborne putting the ball somewhere in the direction of the forward line, but it spills out over the boundary line at the 50-metre arc.
So we'll get another boundary throw in inside 50 for Canberra, doing most of the attacking over the past few minutes. Trying to stay in touch. The Giants have held them at arm's length for most of this match. Demons haven't led since the opening couple of minutes when Tom Fall kicked that behind. It's thrown in. Paik is caught behind at that ruck contest. It was one down by Flynn, hacked out of the area for the Giants. They get it over the boundary line. We'll have another throw in right in front of that Giants interchange bench as they hang on to this 8-point lead. So Alex Paik again to go up in ruck against Matthew Flynn. Only a couple of players in the Giants' half of the ground at this stoppage. It's knocked down to the back of the contest. Good tackle there by Cade Klemke. Spills out to Smout. Another possession for Smout. Another good one, but a good spoil there over the top from Stein. Sees the ball over the boundary line, and we'll get yet another stoppage inside 50 for the Demons. They need to try and take advantage of these forward entries, but it is tough. They are out-muscled in the ruck. There's no doubt about that. With Paik again up against Flynn. Paik starts in front. Flynn gets in front. Paik just found himself nudged under the footy in the end, and Flynn took it out of the ruck, hacked it out of the area, turns it over though. Matt Vardaniger takes the mark. Rolls onto the left foot. Kicks it to the top of the goal square. Plenty of Giants there. And it's Flynn getting back to take another mark, and he'll look to rebound from a fullback.
As he turns around, pops it onto the chest of Perryman. Perryman goes for the long ball, sends it outside the 50. Comes off the hands, it stays in the field of play there. Be Pollock again for the Demons, who turns it around and sends them back into attack. Paik flies, down in front of him is Evans. Evans with the left foot snap towards the goal. Oh! Not a bad goal. He wouldn't have had a chance to even look up there. He's just thrown it on the boot somewhere in the direction of the goals, and he's got it through, and we're back to a 2-point game. And Kel Evans, nice to call one for you this evening. 7-7-49 for the Canberra Demons. And for the Giants, they're on 7-9-51.
He is a handy player, Kel Evans. Only the 6 disposals. That was probably disposal number 7 there for Kel Evans. But he's able to have an impact. He knows where the goals are. And look, a couple of weeks back we were here. Chris, he was in a moon boot, you'll recall. He didn't play a couple of weeks ago. Came back into the side, had a haircut. He's not like Samson. He hasn't lost his goal-kicking ability.
He's Nosmus. It's the reverse Samson. He's had the haircut and his skills have gotten better.
And the former Queanbeyan Tiger, who won the AFL Canberra first grade best and fairest last year, he is having a real positive effect on the Canberra Demons in 2019. We're back with Paik and Flynn in the middle. So the two secondary ruckmen spending a lot of time in the ruck in this quarter. Maguire trying to run onto the ball, but he can't. It's taken by O'Halloran. Swings it forward for the Giants. Highmore in best position for Canberra. He's dispossessed. Comes out towards the boundary line. Stays in play for the time being. Eventually there's a whistle. And it's a Giants free kick. So the Giants trying to get a quick reply. They go inside 50. Bonner can't drag down the mark.
Yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
Had no right to get that. He was right in the middle of traffic. There were 3 other players within inches of him, but he managed to get a clean possession of it, Eddie.
Well, it seemed to have his name on it as soon as the ball was in the air there, Aidan Bonner. He just seemed to be the only one really attacking the footy, seemed to get himself into best position. I was surprised in the end that he was able to hang on under pressure from those other 3 players in the area. Aidan Bonner, the Giants' top draft pick back in 2017. The right foot drop punt is through. So a quick answer from the Giants, and they're back out to an 8-point lead.
Mentioned earlier, the elastic band that's been stretched and contracted and stretched and contracted. And again, it's back to that 8-point margin for the visiting side. 21 minutes gone here, so still probably a good 10 to go before the final break.
It's important for the Demons to be in touch at that final break.
Absolutely.
We talk about it a lot, the challenges for them. If they find themselves 2, 3, 4 goals down at three-quarter time, very, very difficult to see the Demons coming from behind to win. They really need to be in the contest. And look, they kicked that late goal in the first quarter. They need another late goal here, the Demons, to take a bit of momentum into the final break.
Indeed they do. Ball is back in the middle of what I note the scoreboard is now calling Football Park, home of the Canberra Demons. Oh, it really is back to the future here. It was Footy Park when I was growing up here in Canberra. Ball on the ground, cleared away by Maguire. Canberra looking to get into attack again, and they do so right now. Waiting underneath it, plenty of players, comes off hands, rebounds in the Giants' direction. Taking it away is O'Halloran. O'Halloran's kick now towards the centre wing position, but it only gets as far as Richardson, sorry for the stutter, and the Demons, they're looking to get straight back on the scoreboard, sending it into attack again inside the forward 50. Paik flies, comes down to, I reckon that might have been Roberts who had it this time, sends it in towards the goal square. It bounces once, it bounces a second time, punched to nobody. Umpire best positioned for it, but he has to get out of the way. Little hand pass back into the field of play. No, the umpire on the boundary side says that's come out. It'll be a throw in. Forward pocket for Canberra. They're 8 points behind. And 22 minutes gone in the third quarter. And their ball magnet Smout currently on the bench taking a bit of a break. Demons come up with it through Fall. Fall gets it onto a teammate who is absolutely crunched. It may have been House who was up there. I wasn't sure. He got absolutely flattened as he kicked it.
I think it was Evans again.
Could have been. Could have been anyone. I was just plucking a name out of the air, Eddie. Ball bounces over the boundary line. Another throw in. Opposite forward pocket. A little bit closer to the goals. Fall waiting not too far from where the ruckman will contest this. And neither of the ruckmen get onto it. We have a whistle.
Holding free kick. Demons free.
Well, this might go to Maynard.
Pretty shallow throw in there as well.
It was. They had to come in a long way for it. Fall was the man on the spot for it.
Matthew Flynn not too impressed with the decision, but I've never seen an umpire change a decision after he's made it.
And I've not seen too many players impressed with the decision that goes against them, even if they've absolutely knocked someone's block off. Demons have it. Shot coming from Maynard.
Oh.
And he's, well, I've called the worst kick I've ever seen a lot of times. That one would be on a very, very long list of them. Straight into the man on the mark, and now the Canberra Demons have it all to do. Hardy picks it up, turns around on his right foot, sends it in to the forward area, and positioning himself well is Osborne. Had to sit and wait, would have heard the footsteps of his opponent coming in towards him.
He's been lurking in the forward line the past couple of minutes, Jared Osborne, just looking to try and crumb some of those contests, and in the end there, getting in the right position, taking the mark and trying to kick his first goal of the game. Peatling
was the man who was charging in, but Osborne just showed the courage, held onto it, puts it on the left foot. That's a pretty good-looking kick. It starts to curve back to the left towards the post, but it stays between the big sticks, and it's another goal for the Canberra Demons. 8-7, 55. The Giants, 8-9, 57. Oh, you got to love a close game of footy on a cool Canberra night.
Well, there's that late goal we were talking about, the one that the Demons need, and then they've tried a few different things in this quarter. Osborne in the forward line, Tom Fall in the centre square. We've seen Paik take a bit more of the ruck load in this quarter. Looks like Fall's going into the middle again at this centre bounce. They're just doing a few things differently. And Kate Klemke, he's not a coach that believes necessarily that, having a swing man suddenly throwing the full back into the forward line is going to win you the match. He spoke at the Demons season launch about the need for a system rather than tactics that'll win you a game. But having a system that is flexible and adaptable and with players that can play in multiple positions could be something that wins games for the Demons this year.
Could well be. Crucial stage of the match here, 24 minutes gone. The visitors leading by 2. One really getting advantage of the tap down. Bonner, I think it might have been who ran onto it for the Giants, but he couldn't do anything with it. Put it down to the path of Owen Orban, who's just come back off the bench, so he's relatively fresh. He now finds it in the path of a couple of teammates. Oh, look at this. Silky skills from Baker. Pops the ball with his left hand to keep it in the field of play. Sends it across the face of goal. I don't think anyone's going to be able to do much with it. They aren't. It goes out of play. It'll be a throw-in. The Demons on the attack again.
And we haven't mentioned tonight that Adam Kanash is missing for the Demons side, out due to illness. That omission made earlier in the week. And whilst he hasn't kicked a bag of goals, he's been their key forward this season, Adam Kanash, recruited from the Swans Academy. And he's been able to bring the ball to ground, take some good marks. So they're without probably their strike forward, or their tallest forward tonight, the Demons. So they're having to find slightly different avenues to goal and slightly different ways of getting that ball to ground inside 50. They're going to go inside 50 again here. It's a pretty crowded forward line. Osborne and Pollock are lurking. No one really went for the ball there for the Demons. No one flew. They didn't have a tall forward. The one I just mentioned, Adam Kanash, is sick. Bruce wasn't at that contest. Tom Fall has been playing in the middle, and so no big man there to take the mark for the Demons. The Giants get it working to the wing, and they've got big men everywhere. There's one of them, Big Dawson Simpson, kicks it forward of the centre, and the Giants have got an open forward line to run into. They just elect to go laterally. That man there was Stein, who gets it inside 50. Klemke's the only person near the footy. It eludes him. It goes over the boundary line. We'll have a throw-in just next to that right behind post for the Giants, who hold a 2-point lead late in the final quarter, trying to extend that back to an 8-point lead as we get close to the final change.
Did you say the Giants have big men everywhere before, Eddie?
Yes.
Is that why they are called the Giants? Because they have big men everywhere? Just asking. Ball comes back into play. Giants would love a goal here to go back out to an 8-point buffer. They don't get it. The hurried kick off the ground goes out of bounds, not far from the post. They'll get another chance at it. 27 gone, so still plenty of time left in this quarter. You can imagine we went nearly 33 minutes, I think, in the second term. Comes down to Bonner, but he can't do anything with it. As soon as he gets the ball, he is beset upon and brought straight to ground. Waiting for another ball up. Plenty of push and shove. This game still willing. Demons trying to come away with it. Almost a rugby league style kick there coming from Richardson. Gets the ball out towards the 50-metre line, but again, plenty of numbers at the fall of the ball. Canberra may do better with it. Spinning in and out of the pack was Roberts, but again it comes back to the Giants. Off hands, if he can grab that, that'll be a good mark there to Brown. Brown can't control. Again, hot potato, plenty of competition. And like they're starving and in need of a carbs fix, the hot potato dived upon by 3 or 4 very hungry men. Another ball up to come. So we've had 2 ball ups and 2 boundary throw-ins in the space of a minute or thereabouts. And neither side able to do much with it. Bonner again, he's been very busy. And then in there also was Caldwell. I've heard a whistle and I think this is going to go the Giants' way. Contact may have slipped up just a wee bit. And so the Giants, I said how much they'd like a goal late in this quarter to go back to that 8-point break. Looks like they're going to get this shot now, Eddie.
And a big shot ahead of three-quarter time. We know momentum is important in football, and having that late goal, being able to run to the huddle with a bit of a boost is a good thing. So the Giants will be pretty keen to get on the scoreboard here.
Again, good conditions for kicking. Very little wind. It's Hill, comes in, leans back. Leans back a little bit too far. Might have actually been off balance when he kicked that. Puts it through near side, so it's just a point. 2-point lead becomes a 3-point lead. 58 plays 55, ball back in play for the umpteenth time tonight. And again, it's out over the boundary line. I think this time, though, it's gone out on the full. Really hasn't worked very well for them at all tonight, going around that boundary side. Again, I'd like to see some corridor footy played in the last term, Eddie. Ball back in front of the goals here for the Giants. They could box it away here, but instead it's cleared. Coming in over the top, picking it up for them now is Buckley. Gets a little hand pass onto his teammate in Caldwell, and they've been threatening for a few minutes. They wasted a couple of opportunities, but they get one here. Caldwell puts it through, and the 3-point gap becomes 9 in the shadows of three-quarter time. And Jai Caldwell gets his first for the night for the Giants.
Well, there's that late goal we were talking about, and what a class player. That's why he was the Giants' top pick in the 2018 AFL draft, and I'm sure we'll see plenty more goals from Jai Caldwell at NEAFL and AFL level in years to come.
Would not be surprised to see him make it up to the top level either. As you mentioned, yeah, Caldwell, the Giants' #1 draft pick in 2018. Or the Giants' first pick, I should say. Bono was their first pick in 2017. They've got the first player they ever drafted from their local catchment area as well. Nick Shipley was the first Western Sydney product that they've drafted out there tonight as well. So plenty of history-making players for the Giants out there tonight. And 9 points the difference, 31 minutes gone. Bounce down, and once again it goes to the Giants, but running straight onto it is the Demons. Through Moline then getting it across to Smout, but Smout's kick, well, I was going to say cut off with a mark just outside the centre square, but instead, ball's been put to ground. Maguire comes in over the top of the pack. No, actually pulls himself out of the pack and waits for it to see if the ball will spurt out. It doesn't, it'll be another ball up just on the edge of the centre square.
Only 8 disposals to Mitch Maguire tonight, well down on his normal output. He's been averaging more than 31 disposals per game so far this season. Here he is, Mitch Maguire right on cue, drops the ball. Not a moment he'll want to watch back, but he gets it back, gives it to Osborne. Osborne hands it forward to Powell. He's got a man over the top if it can get there. It's Hardy. Hardy has a fumble. They've mucked this up. The Canberra Demons will get a stoppage inside 50.
How many chances did they get in there, Eddie?
That was, I think Maguire eventually got disposal number 9, but they need a lift from Mitch Maguire in the final quarter, the Demons, if they're going to come from behind to win this match. Dawson Simpson slaps it down. Osborne's there for Canberra. Evans is waiting for it to come out. It won't. We'll get another ball up inside 50. Demons down by 9 points. We've gone more than 31 minutes in the third quarter. It's thrown in the air, knocked down by Simpson again up against Maynard. Evans still waiting for it to come out. It won't come out this time either, so we get another stoppage. And very, very difficult, as we've been saying. Josh Maynard, good player, triple premiership player in the ruck with Ainsley in the AFL Canberra competition, but a real tough ask to try and create chances when he's up against an experienced campaigner in Dawson Simpson, former Geelong player now with the GWS Giants. Umpires paid a free kick here for a block, and it will go the Giants' way to that man, Dawson Simpson. And that will get the Giants out of trouble as we tick closer towards three-quarter time. That is the three-quarter time siren. And we've got a pretty good contest on our hands. Don't go away here on NEAFL TV. Going into the final change, it's the Giants 9-10-64, leading the Canberra Demons 8-7-55. Well, at three-quarter time at Phillip Oval, it's the Giants ahead on the scoreboard over the Canberra Demons by 9 points. But Eddie Williams and Chris Coleman here with you on NEAFL TV. When we look at the stats, we find the Demons are ahead in a lot of areas. 249 disposals to 182. They've had 42 tackles to 35. They've had 15 free kicks to 11. They've lost the hitouts 61-23, but they've managed to win the clearances 40-32, and they're up in the inside 50s 41-30. So they haven't had a lack of opportunity, Chris.
No, they haven't, but they have been wasteful in some areas. But the plus for them is that the game is opening up as it progresses. We saw 5 goals, 5 in the first quarter, 5 goals, 6 in the second, 7 goals, 6 in the third. So as fatigue sets in, the game starts to open up. If the Canberra Demons, I think the key for them is go direct. Stop getting lost in the pocket. Stop getting lost on the wing. Go direct. It's a shorter path up the middle of the ground, and give yourselves a chance. Back yourselves, but with just 9 points here, a couple of goals early to Canberra, and it'll get very, very interesting. Umpire says play on as the ball falls just towards the edge of the circle. The Demons will get the Giants rather get the best first possession of it as it comes over towards the grandstand side of the ground. Might have been Shipley with the jump and the punch there. Ball continues out towards the boundary. Socket back off the ground in the direction of Bruce. Bruce can't get there. Too many Giants jerseys, and it's Jake Stein who puts his side into attack. Comes off hands. Evans turns around, tries to do something with it, pulls it back in, pops it out again. Maguire underneath it. And the Giants come in behind him, and it'll be a ball up to take place just on the 50-metre arc. Southern end of Footy Park. Phillip Oval in the nation's capital. Ball up. Tapped sideways. And then spins out of the pack. Taking it away was Richardson. Richardson then onto a teammate. Waiting underneath it is Bruce. He's in front of Stein. Stein spoiling and getting the ball away. Too many Giants players at the fall of the ball. High in the air. Players have to wait. It comes away now to Bonner. Bonner sends a kick in towards the middle of the ground. Maguire, he's had a very quiet night so far today, Eddie.
Well, hopefully he'll give his family something to cheer about, because he's got mum, dad, his sister, his grandma, his auntie and his girlfriend all in the crowd. They'll enjoy that kick. He hits Alex Smout on the chest, hands it off to the running Sam Martin. Martin goes forward towards Powell. The kick's chopped off, taken there by Drew Bevan, one of the non-AFL listed players in the Giants lineup tonight. He goes with a high ball along the boundary line. Simpson was there, Paik there too. Ended up with the ball, but he's coughed it up to Briggs. Hand passes it forward. Helfs is in a good position. Laid a good bump there, Ben Helfs. He's got Smout on the outside. Smout hands it back to Baker. Highmore's calling for the ball on the boundary line, but Baker, wanting to go into the corridor, ends up getting it back after a clever bit of volleyball there from Mitch Maguire. And that's a good mark on the chest to Reece Pollock. He was the match winner last week, Reece Pollock. Maybe he can open up Pollock's paddock again in this final quarter. He kicks it out to the wing. It comes off hands. There are plenty of Giants waiting at the fall of the ball, and they'll head forward again.
They do indeed. It's gone a long way in the air. Demons playing in front, and yielding dividends from it was Maguire. Gets a hand pass away. He's had a lot of possessions in this last quarter, has Maguire. Round the far side of the ground, and it goes to Bruce. He's on the wing. He's got Owen Orban in short. Goes longer up towards half forward. Waiting there was Evans. Punch came away. Evans goes over the top. He falls to ground. Bonner picks it up on the 50-metre arc. Turns around. He then finds Buckley. Buckley clearing kick. A little bit of a juggle. Winds up with Vardaniga. Vardaniga can't do anything. So you come back to the Giants again. Oh, hot potato. A lot of pressure at the moment. Now we see the ball with Highmore. Plenty of play between the 50-metre arcs. Now it goes to Richardson. There's a running teammate on his outside. And the mark is taken.
Hardy's got it again. And there's Mitch Maguire getting his hands on the ball early in the final quarter and setting up this shot on goal. Mitch Hardy looking for his third of the evening.
One in the first, one in the second. Canberra ringing plenty of changes as well early in this final term. They've got the playing coach, Klemke, coming back on now. Just a little bit more starch to that back line, but Hardy, the man tasked with bringing the margin back down within a kick, and he does precisely that with his third major of the evening. Canberra going to 9-7-61. The Giants 9-10-64. Wasn't expecting this one to be a close one tonight, Eddie. A lot of people weren't, but we've got one, and we are thankful for it.
It's a smaller forward line tonight for the Canberra Demons with Adam Kanash out of the side. Paik hasn't gone forward much. Even Tom Fall hasn't spent as much time forward as he normally would. And we've seen Harry Carr. He'll start in the goal square again at this centre bounce. He's been the deepest forward with Powell and Osborne and Hardy. And so it's the smalls that the Demons are trying to rely on to hit the scoreboard in this final quarter. Do they think about throwing Alex Paik or Josh Maynard forward? Do they put Tom Fall out of the goal square? They're backing their smalls, their medium-sized forwards, and for Mitch Hardy at least, it's worked. He's kicked 3 goals.
There's been plenty of conversation going on the bench there with Smout and Fall and Robertson. They're all about to come back on. That'll be interesting if they all come back on in a real hurry, but the bounce in the middle to restart proceedings, and we're back to a 3-point game. Ball initially goes in the Giants' direction, but it's all under control of the Demons at the moment, and they managed to turn it around now. Here we go. They've got numbers. Around the outside, waiting underneath it was Osborne, but it cleared him. Wound up instead with Jai Reid. He turns it inside, gets it to the big man in Simpson. Simpson waits. Could have popped off a hand pass to the outside. Instead goes for a pretty wobbly old kick. Wobbly that it gets past about 4 players. Richardson probably the best positioned for it. Bumped after he hand passed it was Owen Orban for Canberra, but the ball going into their forward 50. There's nobody home for them. Comes off the boot of Keefe. And then that was with the Stein. Still plenty of competition with the ball now, making its way towards the boundary line. Little kick. And it trickles over. I think trickles over. Yes, it does. Eventually trickles over. And it'll be a throw-in right on the 50-metre arc. Over next to the floodlight tower here. Still 3 points the difference.
Starting to get interesting in this final quarter. A 3-point ball game. 9-10 the Giants. 9-7 the Canberra Demons as we get ready for a restart. Just outside the 50-metre arc for Canberra. Simpson wins it down against Maynard, and the Giants will get things moving quickly from this clearance. A long kick in the Brown direction. He's got a couple of Demons there for company. The ball's on the ground.
Oh, great tackle from Vardaniga.
Umpire calls play on. Spills out towards the boundary line. It's kicked back into play. The Demons trying to get things working forwards, and they do. Kick comes now towards half forward. It clears the pack. Pollock tries to run onto it at the back of the pack. The ball ends up over the boundary line. So we'll get another boundary throw in. But the Demons just with a bit more life in this final quarter. Maybe a bit of a rev up from Cade Klemke, the playing coach, at 3-quarter time, and they're trying to hit the scoreboard early in this final term. They don't want to leave themselves with needing to kick a couple of goals late, as they did last week. Knocked down to the front by Simpson. That one looks like it's going to get over the boundary line again. It does. So it'll be thrown in pretty much the same position. We're between wing and half forward for the Canberra Demons. Looking for a win. Their only Friday night home game of their season. Their first home game under lights here at Phillip Oval. Trying to get their first ever win at Phillip Oval. It is their home ground. They only started playing here late last season and yet to sing the song in the home rooms here at Phillip. They get the clearance from this stoppage, the Demons. They go inside 50. Powell was the target. It couldn't come to him. Osborne's there as well. Comes out the back. Owen Orban was there. It moves away from him. We've got a pack around the ball. The umpire blows the whistle, and he's paid a free kick. It looks like it'll go the Giants' way.
Hardy turning on the physicality there. Got him with a couple of really big bumps. One of them did go a little bit high. Reid, it is. Low trajectory kick. Gets it to Bonner. He's been one of the best for the Giants tonight. Again, relatively flat kick. For the Demons there, it was Richardson. Contact may have been a little bit high. Umpire agrees. So they get a chance to go back into attack. He's just short of the centre circle. Goes high, goes long. Punched away into the path of Owen Orban. Bonner gets it though for the Giants, but only as far there as Maynard. Maynard with a shorthand pass onto a teammate in Smout. Smout sends the ball forward, and there's a whistle, a hold. And this will be a shot coming up here for the Demons. It'll be Pollock to take the shot. Was held off the ball. It's not going to be easy, but it's certainly within kicking distance, Ed.
1 goal already tonight for Reece Pollock, the match winner last weekend. Can he put the Canberra Demons back in front?
It's the 3rd week in a row where the Demons have been in a close one. It's not a bad-looking kick. The goal umpire hardly moves until the last second and then adjudicates that it has gone across before it reached the post, and it's a 2-point game down, 9-8-62. The Giants 9-10-64. The nail-biter continues at Footy Park.
Stein with the kick in to Reid. Recruited from Narooma, so perhaps a few of his family able to get up to the game from the south coast. He went long to a contest. The ball spilt Canberra's way. Aaron Bruce with the footy. Gets the hand pass forward, and they kick again towards the goal square. It's towards Osborne. No one could get a hand on the ball in the air. It comes to ground. It's over the boundary line, and we'll get a throw in near the cherry picker, which is giving us some of our camera shots from behind the goals tonight here at Phillip Oval. Thanks to Bar TV. Round 5, NEAFL TV. Canberra Demons hosting the Giants on what has been a tight match. The lead has never gotten beyond about 2.5 goals so far this evening. Umpire throws it back into play. Maynard went up against Simpson. Probably give that one to Simpson. No one really able to get a clean possession here. Umpire lets play go on. Osborne couldn't take it. It's kicked out by the Giants, but it's going to come back in because Tom Highmore sits back, takes the mark on the chest, spots up a player inside 50. It was Roberts. He couldn't take the mark. It might come back in because Cade Klemke is going to run onto the ball. He picks it up. Kicks to the hot spot. He's got Maynard there. Couple of Giants defenders flew. Richardson plucks it off the pack. He snaps it towards goal. It won't have the carry.
There's a whistle in there, a couple of whistles in there.
And it's a mark in the end to the Giants. And the umpire just tells the Demons that they need to come back to the 9, that the mark, if it's taken within the goal square, needs to come back to that 9 metre, one of the new rules in the AFL and in the NEAFL in this 2019 season. The ball's over the boundary line, so we'll get another throw in between wing and half forward for Canberra.
There's been plenty of congested footy tonight. Just wonder if there's a couple of players who can find some fleet-footedness late in this affair. 2 points the difference in favour of the visitors, and 11 minutes gone in the final quarter. About 70 metres from the Canberra goal at the moment. Ball comes back into play. Tap down again, unsurprisingly, won by the Giants. Hand pass away by their big ruckman in Simpson. Still plenty of competition for the ball. Waiting to see if anyone can gain some ascendancy. Giants work it around into the path of Vardaniga, but Vardaniga cannot control the pill, and it's again out over the boundary line. Gone maybe 15 metres further around. So many questions that we could see asked in the next few minutes. What happens to the Giants if they lose the lead here? Do they find a way to strike back? Or do they find a way, or do the Demons streak away with it? What happens if the Giants score next? Is that the straw that breaks the camel's back? As the ball sent back in deep into attack for the Demons, and it was Richardson who did so. There's plenty of orange jerseys in defence there. The Canberra side calling for a deliberate out of bounds, but they don't get their wishes exceeded to. They do, however, get a throw in, and this will only be about 12 metres around from the goal. Important one coming up. Simpson takes it almost unopposed. And again, too many of the orange jersey Giants players making their way through. Klemke got a little toe on that one, I fancy. Only into the path there of Bobby Hill. The ball again goes out over the boundary line. Another throw in to take place right in front of the Canberra Demons sign.
And it's the Demons trailing by 2 points. We've gone more than 12.5 minutes in this final quarter. Another tight game here in Canberra, and we've seen tight finishes in all the Demons' home games so far this season. They held on against a fast-finishing Gold Coast side in round 1. They were just beaten by Southport on Good Friday. Can the Demons come from behind to claim a tight win here on a Friday night? They don't have the ball at the moment. The Giants get inside 50 again. Tom Highmore will come third man up, but he was too late. It's a mark to the Giants, and they will get another shot on goal.
Well, this has happened a couple of times tonight, Eddie, where the Demons have had the ball deep in their attack and they really haven't been able to do much with it. And then the ball brought far down the other end of the ground and the Giants wind up getting the shot on goal. About as far as we can get there. I reckon it may be Langdon.
We reckon it's
it.
Langdon.
It is. A kick from about 35, maybe 40 out on a pretty acute angle.
2 goals already for Zach Langdon to extend the Giants' lead.
He likes it.
Giants fans give a big cheer because they're now out by 8 points. 3 goals for Zach Langdon. And that just gives Giants a bit of breathing space.
We spoke about him before as a player who would really love to be playing, well, tomorrow's game at Manuka. Played 19 games for the Giants last year in his debut season in the AFL, but coming back from that injury, so waiting to see whether he can get back into the side. And not far off his best form, but gee, it's a tough side to be breaking into at the moment.
Not unheard of in country footy, Chris. Play the junior game in the morning and then get the call up for the seniors in the afternoon, and you've played, 4 hours of footy by the end of it all.
Well, Paul Kelly used to play rugby league on a Saturday and Aussie rules on a Sunday, or maybe it was the other way around.
And then he went and sang a song.
And
wrote some columns in the Australian.
Exactly, yes. Never gets old, that one. Back to an 8-point game here. Low-scoring affair on a Friday night.
He's done all the dumb things.
He has indeed, as we are doing right now. The Giants bringing the ball out of the middle of the park, but it only gets as far as a couple of the Demons. They send it straight back into attack. They've got to convert. They really have been wasteful in the inside 50s here tonight. Waiting for it. Could have been a high tackle. Instead it comes free. It's just still being battered around here, really. No one able to get a clean possession, and the whistle blows to indicate the ball has gone out of bounds. So we'll come back for a throw-in. What are the inside 50s here tonight? Canberra 51, Giants 33. In fact, the Canberra have had 51 inside 50s for 17 scoring shots. The Giants have had 33 for 20. Really gives you an indication of what we're saying about Canberra, just lacking a little bit of purpose, a little bit of target inside the forward 50. But the game still very much hanging in the balance here. I need to see if it can come clear. It can't. So we go from boundary throw in to ball up. Again, still plenty of congestion around the ball. Slapped out of the air towards the boundary line. Hardy and Bonner going for it. Winds up with Bonner eventually. Gets a little bit of help from a teammate. He just bangs it onto the boot. Throws it up the ground. Chasing onto it is House. He has no support at all. And it's again the Giants making away with it. Going inside their forward 50. They've got options in the goal square. Let's wait for it. Let's see who can get there. Well, nobody, because the ball goes through for a point on the far side. But the time's starting to tick here. Canberra, they need to start working it and working a bit more directly.
You mentioned that lopsided inside 50 count. You look at the rebound 50s, and it's the Giants up 40-24. So when you're not making the most of your entries inside 50 and the other team's able to get it out of there, it really opens up your defenders and makes it hard for them to defend on the counter-attack. As the Giants get the ball back here, Jai Caldwell has it. He goes into the corridor.
Oh, that's good.
That's
vision.
a nice grab. Looks like Nick Shipley has taken the mark at centre-half forward, or in fact...
I think you're right.
I think I was right the first time.
You were right the first time. I tell you, I've been impressed by Jai Caldwell. You can see why the Giants used their first-round pick on him. Pick 11 in the 2018 National Draft.
Shipley decides not to have a shot, just sets it up into the pocket. Riley Budd spoiled it with 2 hands. Ball comes to ground. Roberts fed the hand pass out, and the Giants not making the most of that entry inside 50. Baker with a hand pass to Osborne, and here they go. They're off and running here, the Canberra Demons. They get the ball to the wing. Tom Fall will fly. Can't take the mark, but at ground level, it's sharked by Connor Owen Orban. Gets the hand pass forward. It was meant for Carr. Ends up with Fall. Tom Fall can't shrug off his opponent that time, and he's pinged for holding the ball. Not his best game tonight, perhaps, Tom Fall. We know he's a bit of a live wire, just couldn't get around the Giants' defence that time, and he's coughed up the footy. So the Giants just look to use this broadcast side. The kick was poor, chopped off by Owen Orban, gives it back to Smout. He tried to give it to Roberts. Roberts wasn't really ready for it. Kicked forward for the Giants. Paik was in best position, couldn't take the mark. Highmore might have copped a push, he did. And the co-vice captain, Tom Highmore, will take a few deep breaths and take this free kick from the Canberra Demons. It'd be a pretty tough push in the back from Dawson Simpson, all 206 centimetres and 100 kilos of him. So Tom Highmore might be feeling that one at the moment. He goes with a very high kick. Carr was nudged under the ball by Briggs. At ground level, it's kicked forward for the Giants. Martin's pushed his opponent in the back there. Mooney will end up with the free kick here for the Giants. Thought about giving the quick hand pass off. Elects to go instead with a short kick. Mark is taken there by Hill. Too far out to score. A lot of yelling going on and off the field in this final quarter. Hill's kick is not a good one. Ends up with Powell. Powell's tackled by Caldwell. He shrugs the tackle. Powell hands it off. Now the kick comes towards half forward to Hardy. He's too far out to score. He's got Tom Fall running on. That's where he'll go. Tom Fall, can he get there to take the mark? He won't mark. He'll run in. He'll pick it up. He'll snap off the left. And he'll hit the post.
It had all the makings of a great drama there. And just wasted at the last moment. But the Giants not going, the Demons not going quietly into the night.
He is a great character, Tom Fall, in any drama, Chris.
Absolutely he is. Just seeing coming off there, Powell, and he's limping there. Not sure if we'll see much more of him tonight.
Baker looking a bit sore as well.
A wee bit. Giants bringing the ball back outside 50, but flying is Bruce. Man in front gets the mark. Too far out to score, you would imagine. He'll be 60 out. Who's he got? Plenty of players in there. Waiting for it, I think, is Osborne, and it is indeed. Oh, this is just what you practice at training, time after time after time after time, isn't it? You just get out there from about 40 or 50 out, directly in front, and see if you can back yourself.
And that's a better kick inside 50, not putting it on the head of your forwards, kicking it for them to run onto, and Osborne looking for goal number 2.
Looks like it starts off a little bit to the right, and it stays off to the right. And it's a point, but that takes it to a 7-point ball game. The draw not out of the equation here either, just quietly Eddie Williams. I know I said that for the Southport game a couple of weeks ago. 7 points the margin. The Giants bring it back in. Canberra in front. Ball goes completely over everybody. Picked up off the ground by Bobby Hill. Hill turns it on the inside. Gets a hand pass on to Brown. Brown back to Hill. Hill into the path of Bevan. Bevan took his time. Bumped once. Ridden to the ground. Does he lose the ball? No, he doesn't. Umpire says play on, and the ball goes to, I reckon it might be Sproul who's run onto it. There's a few Canberra players who are asking the umpire what on earth is going on there. It will make zero difference. Sproul will have the goal. It'll be a 13-point game. And there's a lot of disgruntled home fans and home players at the moment, Ed.
A lot of arms being waved. We'll get to that in a moment. How often do you see it? You miss a relatively straightforward shot at one end, the ball slingshots back to the other end, and your opponent managed to score. Reminds me of the Anzac Day game, Collingwood-Essendon, where there were some non-decisions made. Those decisions were explained. If there's not prior opportunity, you don't have to get a kick or a hand pass away. So I guess the argument there would be from the umpiring team, perhaps there was no prior opportunity. Perhaps that's why play on was called, and that's why the Giants have kicked a goal, and they're now out by 13 points. We're into time on. Tough for the Demons from here.
Well, they've got plenty to do. There's still plenty of time left. What have we had? We've only had 3 goals here. We've seen goals, plenty of goals late in quarters, but again, the Giants win it from the middle of the ground. Good grab taken in defence by Highmore. He'll wait. Sends it across to the other side of the ground. Sends it into the open spaces. Running onto it. I think it was Martin. Couldn't control it, but suddenly they're on the way. Maguire sends the ball into attack. Picked out of the air, though, by the man with the long sleeves in Stein. Stein sends the ball around to Flynn. Now, the Giants have the luxury of being in front. They can take their time, and they do so. O'Halloran, he's on his own. He can take the ball. And again, the longer they do this for, it'll just melt the clock and melt the clock. Buckley calling for it right on the interchange gates. Be a brave kick to go that close to the line. And indeed, O'Halloran goes longer. Looking for Brown. Highmore had it for a second, then dispossessed by Brown. Brown then gave it to Mooney. Mooney nearly winds up with it rebounding back towards him. And we're getting back to the messy footy again. Maguire tries to get the ball. Instead, slings a man off the ball. Umpire has said you can't do that. And it'll be a free kick to the Giants. And the man benefiting from the free kick will be Jack Buckley, winner of the AFL Sydney Best and Fairest back in 2016. One of 2 Buckleys on the Giants list, the other one of course being Dylan Buckley, former Carlton player. Buckley sends the ball into the forward area. Pack flies, ball goes to ground. Not sure if anyone actually wound up getting any handle on it. The clearing kick is again bouncing around and back out over the boundary line. 25 minutes gone in this final term, and 13 points the difference. It may well be a bridge too far here for the home side.
They'll need to score 3 times to take the lead here, Canberra, or even to tie the game up. It's thrown back into play. Can the Demons find something? Not from this stoppage. O'Halloran gets it forward for the Giants. Paik does well. Makes sure the ball goes over the boundary line, but it's in a dangerous position. It'll be thrown in a couple of metres around from the Giants' left behind post as they hold on to this 13-point lead. We've gone nearly 24 minutes, nearly 23 minutes in this final quarter.
It's hard to read. We should say that. It's very hard to read that scoreboard. It's so bright.
One down by Simpson. Demons with the clearance, though. A big hand pass there from Maynard. Couldn't find a target. High tackle. Giants free. So the Giants just starting to control the game. And if they can get another goal here, you'd think that'd put this result beyond doubt.
Might be Mooney over there, one of the development players for the Giants.
Well, he's shaping to have a shot on goal. Don't think he'll have the distance on it. It'll fall a couple of metres short.
It was Peatling, to correct myself, and play will continue as the ball has come off the post, so it'll be a throw-in.
So still in a dangerous position here for the Giants, right next to that left behind post. Umpire getting ready to restart play. We've got Maynard again up in ruck against Simpson. Comes down Canberra's way. Oh, and Auburn got the hand pass out towards Richardson. Again, a pack forms, and again, we'll get a stoppage inside 50 for the Giants, and the Giants will be happy with this if they can lock the ball in their forward line. Stoppage after stoppage, they'll be able to hold on to a win and hold on with this 13-point lead as we see another stoppage. Hasn't been pretty, but it has been effective from the Giants. They really have shut down, throttled down this free-flowing game that the Demons have played a lot of this year. Klemke has it and trying to get the ball out, but again, just too many players in his path, and the umpire comes back in to take possession of it. Nick McGuinness tosses the ball back in the air. Now a call of holding the ball as one of the Giants players is slung around by Hardy, and I think that it may have actually gone. Giants free here for some high contact.
Okay, so it's gone the other way as the tackle maybe slid up a little bit high.
Bit of frustration here from Canberra. They'll probably feel there were a couple of holding the ball free kicks that didn't go their way, and then they've hung on too long in a couple of tackles. This one has slipped high. Just a little bit of ill discipline slipping in towards the end of the game. Easier said than done to just let those decisions slip past your memory. And another point there for the Giants. 11-12-78. The Demons 9-10-64. The Demons, well, they need some clean possession. It's been very hard for them to get. Calling for it on this side was Martin, but again, they continue to work around the congested side of the park. Hardy has it now. He's calling for anyone to give him a lead. The Giants will be quite happy for him to go back to Smout. And Smout will get his 37th possession for the night. They turn around and work it back up towards the centre square. That's House. Puts it on the outside, finds Pake. Pake goes long. But there's no one at home there for Canberra. Unopposed was the marker was Flynn. And they can turn it around a little bit. They can almost actually let it trickle through for a behind. They don't. Briggs to Sproul. Back to Briggs. And now they could come unstuck here. If they do, it'll be quite remarkable. Trying to pick it up off the ground is Perryman. He hasn't had as much of the ball tonight as Perryman would have liked to have had. It'll be a ball up just inside the attacking 50.
He's their leading
Canberra. Possession winner, Chris, with 17 disposals.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I apologise to Perryman. Mind you,
Alex Smout is way out on top with 38.
You look at Smout,
Baker
38.
22, Highmore 20.
Exactly. There's plenty of Canberra players who've had plenty of possession.
Oh, good mark, Alex Pake.
And Pake has it now. He decides to play on while he has to play on. It's his side back into attack. Looking for fall falls, and the ball goes to ground behind him. The Giants send it around the boundary line, and unable to take the mark there was Hill. He's had a couple of good goals tonight and nearly wound up with the mark of the day, but he didn't get there. And now there's a bit of push and shove on. Bonner, one of the players involved in it. Also in there is Maynard. Big versus bigger. I don't see Simpson coming involved to make it big versus bigger versus biggest. And now the ball comes back into play. Around the wing, Smout gets yet another possession with a hand pass this time. Put it to Klemke. Klemke's kick downfield. Well, nobody able to get onto it, and it trickles out over the boundary line. And as we get towards the 29-minute mark, 14 points the difference, you can almost sense the Giants just saying, no, we can put the chalk away and pop the cue in the rack, Eddie.
Demons need to take their game on. They need to try and be as clean as they can, but prepare to take a few risks. Nothing to lose from this point. 14 points down, getting towards the half-hour mark of the final quarter, getting towards the end of the match. There's the siren, and the Giants hold on. They win 11-12. 78. They've beaten the Canberra Demons, who finish on 9-10-64. A low-scoring affair, a pretty tight affair for most of the evening. The Giants just too good in the end.
Yeah, it was a game that didn't, I think, go according to a lot of people's expectations. This evening, I think a lot of people expected the Demons to come out and play a free-flowing brand of football and just get out in front of their opponents and run them off the park. It didn't happen. The Giants played a very, very clever brand of footy tonight, and they managed to shut down that Canberra Demons attack repeatedly through the course of the evening. So in the end, yeah, a 14-point win to the visitors. They'll be very happy, and the Giants will be hoping, of course, to make it a double in Canberra this weekend, up against St Kilda in the AFL at Marnica tomorrow. Let's have a quick look at some of the numbers from this afternoon, though, or this evening, I should say. For the victors, for the Giants, it was Zach Langdon with 3 goals. Zach Sproul had a couple, as did Bobby Hill. Both pretty good goals as well. And I'll watch him with a great deal of interest as his career progresses. Likewise, Jai Caldwell, who got a goal today. Bonner had 1, Briggs had 1, and Callum Brown had a pretty decent-looking goal as well, the Irishman, back in the first quarter. For the Canberra Demons, Hardy, the only man, I think, with multiple goals for them today, with 3. It was singles to Smout, Powell, Evans, Osborne, Carr, and Pollock, Eddie.
Plenty of live wires in that Giants forward line, so something for Giants fans to look out for and to hopefully enjoy in years to come. From a Demons perspective, a similar score to what they kicked last weekend, which was enough to beat Sydney Uni. They need to find more avenues to goal. Hopefully they get Adam Kanash back next week. They just didn't have a tall option for most of the evening. I wonder if they think about Maynard or Paik spending more time in the forward line. The defence did pretty well. They kept the Giants to just 78 points. So defence pretty happy. They more than matched them in the midfield, Chris, as we've talked about. More disposals, more clearances. A lot of positive for the Demons, but it's that forward 50 entry that at the moment just is not working.
Lost it too many times around, or not so much lost it, but got lost too many times around their own half-back line, and then didn't seem to have a target inside the forward 50.
Yeah, there were kicks that went to no one or went to opponents or were put on the forward's head and that were easy to knock away. Or when they did get into space, and we saw it in the third quarter at the half-forward line when there were players queuing up, just poor disposals, letting themselves down. And the skill level is something the Demons need to address. It's been a problem for them in a couple of matches this season.
And both these sides, after 5 games, will sit 2 wins and 3 losses. Quick look at some of the leading stat getters there. Smout had 25 kicks and 14 hand passes today. He surpassed everyone on the Giants with his number of kicks and surpassed almost everyone on the Giants with his number of hand passes. Certainly did his prospects of being spotted by someone no harm at all today. Smout for the Canberra Demons. Baker had 23 disposals and Highmore had 20. For the Giants, it was Perryman who had 19 disposals for the day, 14 kicks and 5 hand passes. As I said in the call, he was hardly noticed, but he managed to get 19 possessions up. Not a bad day's work for him. Bonner had 16, Sproul had 15, Keefe and Hill and Caldwell all had 12. There's plenty of young talent there in that Giants side.
There was no standout for the Giants like Alex Smout was for the Demons.
A real team effort. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players there with 10 disposals or more.
No, none of them dominated the game, so Demons will be happy with that. As I say, some live wires in the forward line for the Giants that were probably the highlights for them. The Giants next week have the bye. We'll be back here at Phillip Oval midday next Saturday when the Canberra Demons host the Brisbane Lions, and they'll try again to notch up their first win at their home ground.
Yeah, that one will be a task because the Brisbane Lions, Eddie, have been absolutely on fire in this NEAFL competition. Of course, plenty more NEAFL action happening across the course of this weekend. Tomorrow, who is at Sydney Uni up against Southport, the Brisbane Lions against the Sydney Swans, and up in Darwin, the Saturday night game will be the NT Thunder against the Gold Coast Suns. And on Sunday, Eddie, to wrap it all up,
up in Queensland, Redland hosting Aspley at Scottsdale Park, a 1:30 match on Sunday afternoon. Thanks for joining us, Eddie Williams and Chris Coleman signing off here on NEAFL TV with the Canberra Demons going down to the Giants to the tune of 14 points.